Late Night Grin. Also, what does that name mean?
Good evening, folks. Happy Friday. Happy Grin Day. We are on the eve of AEW All Out, and that really feels apt right now. We're like hours away, literally. We're always hours away. But, dude, there's a quick turnaround here, right? Like, 24 hours from now, this show will, I presume, be firmly in the books. I have to presume because you never know these things. We could be getting into the second half, but I think it'll be firmly in the books, and, show I'm looking forward to, show we're going to be watching together, much of this crew, LNG Gold, maybe this whole crew even, tomorrow afternoon, so very excited for that. And tonight we're going to do something a little different, a little new concept for the flagship. We're going to be talking about the All Out story so far, the catalogue to this point. I think, so tomorrow will be the 7th All Out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I believe.
Yeah.
And lots of great matches, lots of great moments. We're going to celebrate some of those, and we have a little list here, a very informal, unofficial list based on some of my Twitter replies over the past couple weeks. Much to discuss. Expert panel as always. Novi, how are you?
Doing pretty good, Joe. I'm excited for All Out. I picked up my beverages for tomorrow's events today. And I'm also, over the course of this show, I'm excited to bring a new phrase to the Grin. I know we've been talking about these fines and stuff, but it seems as though one of our own has kind of figured out that we can say a specific phrase. And I'm excited to do that today. I'm just really pumped up about it. You know, there's a certain thing. I feel like it's gotten banned over a little bit, but it's now back in the fold. And I'm just so excited.
Look, one rule for Max, one rule for the rest. Okay, he killed Bob O'Neill on our platform, and has never been said. You know, it is what it is, bro. It is what it is. Leave him be. Okay, so fair enough. Caden Lee, how are you?
I'm good. You know, over the last few days, I slowly worked my way through watching 2022's The Batman, which is a 3-hour film. It takes me a little bit sometimes. That movie is so fantastic. I love it.
Good.
That's like, guy. Anything else happened?
It's the best Batman film, by the way.
It is the best Batman film.
It is very much so.
Really?
It's better than The Dark Knight. Yeah, I watched both recently. It's better than The Dark Knight.
Do you remember when we were talking about Batman and I was like, hey guys, I like Michael Keaton, and you were telling me to just like go fuck myself? And
it's the wrong opinion.
Michael Keaton now being controversial. That's what happened. That's what the young folk have done, Buster. How are you?
I haven't seen a single Batman movie. I'm good. I mean, I'm not as sick as I once was a couple days ago. It was very funny. I sent a very dramatic message to my boss last night saying, I think I have strep throat. I'm fucked. It's over. And then I woke up this morning and I went, I'm fine, actually. I think my nose is stuffy, but I'm not coughing that much anymore. I'm good.
There's a lot of wrestlers on tomorrow's show that could, feasibly, reasonably say, I'm not as sick as I once was. But we'll get into that maybe some other time. Marcus.
Who's that a reference to?
How are you this evening?
I'm doing wonderful, actually. An eve of a great AEW pay-per-view that's going on the airwaves, All Out. It's giving us some really wonderful moments, some really funny moments, and some, oh my God, I can't believe they killed each other in the middle of the ring moments. And I'm ready to talk about all of them. And this esteemed list that the viewers have given us has so many cool moments that are right on the top of my list, and I am pumped.
I am too, and we should know, this is not something that's going to be an AEW exclusive, this concept moving forward. We're going to actually, next month, do the same thing for TNA Bound for Glory, which is now 20 editions deep, which is insane. It's a fun way to get in the mood for an event, I think, without just straight up previewing it, and hopefully it will be something that's kind of more an enduring listen. For example, if you miss this before the show, this is a lot easier to just go back and listen on Sunday than us picking matches, right? So, nonetheless, much to discuss tonight.
How are you, Joe?
Thank you for asking, Buster. I'm good. I'm worn out, but to be honest, it's a lot easier to be worn out and tired when I know there's like a reboot happening next week, and I feel like I'm excited about that. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm doing good. I am excited for the show. I am much more excited for it because it's on at 8 p.m. my time, and I can just have a normal day. So I'm looking forward to it. Very much looking forward to it. And we should know, this is important. Speaking of people catching up on this show on Sunday, there is a major happening tonight. CMLL show, which is live on Triller, as well as the YouTube membership deal that fans have become accustomed to. And I know I speak for everyone when I say that we are our thoughts and prayers with Maxwell Jacob Friedman as he goes into one of the biggest fights of his life. We know he's going to get the job done, no question. There's no way he's losing that one. No way. There's no way he's losing that. He can't possibly lose that. He's got that belt on the line.
It's the world title.
Yeah, it's the world title, dude. So there's no way he's losing. But we just wanted to send our support. I think we all do, right? Collectively. It's definitely a thing all of us want to do, not just me, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I certainly do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My fault. I had to clear my throat there. My bad.
Buster, have you given your sickness to Marcus? He seemed to have a slight issue there when we
Probably
talk
give
about
it to
Maxwell
Max.
Jacob Friedman. Yeah. Max is Max is doing his thing, dude. He's got a quick turnover too because he's going to be in Toronto tomorrow for Mark Briscoe, right? So I think Hechisero's working. Matt texted me that Hechisero's working tonight, Toronto, and then doing Sunday CMLL show. He's doing a full
Oh my god.
a full loop.
Of course.
Wow.
Back and forth. So wild times. Nonetheless, before we get started, I do want to say, if you're excited about this show, if you're confident you're going to enjoy this show, please do smash the like button and all those good things. And we will be live tomorrow for a Grin Along for AEW All Out. That will be the final Grin Along, AEW Grin Along that is, pay-per-view wise. That will be behind the paywall. Moving forward, if and when we do AEW pay-per-view Grin Alongs, they will be free on this very channel. As a result, to celebrate that occasion, tomorrow's Grin Along will be for all members. So, if you want to join us tomorrow, 3 Eastern, probably be live actually at 2, right? Somewhere in the middle.
We'll be live at 2.
That
The old
is
tailgate brawl.
There you go. Samoa Joe's book. I might be there. But I'll be there for definitely the main show. $1.99 gets you in the door for that. And then you have, all the stuff that comes along. Speaking of such, on Monday, we have Gold Grappler. Awesome Kong. I'm going to just be watching a couple of hours Awesome Kong matches at some point on Monday. So, much happening here in the land of grins. And we are excited about that. In addition, before we get started, I do want to shout out our guy Chris Bordine, who turned 19 this past week, and we'll be celebrating that next week with Bordine's belated birthday bash bracket, working through some of the greatest themes in pro wrestling history.
Hell of a list. Post on his Twitter if you want to go
I haven't
find
looked at it yet, but I'm excited because
it's really good.
there's something different, right? We've done a lot of those bracket shows. There's something different, so we'll make sure we build a strong lineup for that, no doubt. So, the way this is going to work, folks, we're going to use this list as kind of a vehicle to discuss things, to recall things. That will be our format. We got like 50 replies, I think. Some of them did not order the matches. In that case, I just gave every match they listed the same tally because they jeopardized their one seed, right? They didn't order the damn things. Sometimes they were not physically listed, but I could figure out what was supposed to be 1 and 5 because it would have honorable mentions underneath, whatever. But the point is, we got a lot of different answers. The great Rob Naylor even chipped in with his top 5. I mean, this is a legitimate, prestigious thing. It's a list we will never talk of again once this weekend's done because these are just ways for us to, to capture things, right? Mm-hmm. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to have a top 15 tonight because it gives us a chance to talk about a wider range of matches, and we do have some time. I don't think this is going to be an extensive match review format by any means because we haven't rewatched the matches. Some of them are now 6 years ago. But it's a chance to kind of just throw stuff out there and remember some things. Tell us in the chat, folks, what stands out to you when it comes to All Out memories. It doesn't have to be a match. There'll be angles, I'm sure, that will come up. Moments, right? I think you'd argue the most memorable moment in AEW history happened in Chicago All Out with that double debut in 2021. I think you could easily argue that would be the all-time 1 seed.
They were
So,
talking about Brawl Out.
to be
I did
honest, though,
too.
right, like
What's Brawl Out, Caden? What's that?
Yeah.
in its own way, there's some truth to that too. Right?
Yeah.
So All Out's obviously been a really important event throughout the years. I think Arn Anderson debuted there too. So
He
It
did.
also
Yeah.
had that sick ass Samoa Joe MJF angle too.
yes, which
That was a good angle. Yeah.
because I will probably forget to bring that up, I'll just talk about it now. That's probably the coolest angle I've been in the building for, because it felt so organic and natural,
Yeah.
and people were like, you could tell it was a matchup. The people of Chicago had never done the maths on like Max versus Samoa Joe.
Who was it the other day that was? I had the exact same reaction. Was it MJF and Takeshita maybe?
Yeah.
Like they were face to face in the ring. I
Oh
was like-
yeah.
My immediate reaction was like, "This roster's fucking crazy, dude." But
Right.
sorry, finish my bad.
No, you're good. And the other thing with Joe and Max was it was a callback, right, to the NXT thing.
Yeah.
It was
Then also,
alive.
fucking Joe and Morishima it could just be a fucking coincidence, but I will take the opportunity to say that because that angle rules too.
I know. I think it was. Yeah, that was one of the most simple, awesome
Right.
wrestling angles. For those of you who've never seen
Yeah.
it, what are they out there for? I forget now. I just
Isn't
remember
it
the
just
angle.
like is it not the anniversary show or something like that? Or is
I
it?
honestly can't remember.
It
But
might have
they-
been something like that, but like it was so cool because like they just kind of just walking out. It's like
Yeah.
you first, no, you first, no, actually, fuck you, no, fuck you.
yeah.
Let's go in the ring. Let's just duke this
Yeah.
shit out.
And the
It was
place
so
just
sick.
It fucking
explodes.
erupts. Yeah.
That's an awesome angle for sure. Very simple. So, all right, we're going to work through these, folks. We'll start at 15, and we're going to build up. 15, Novi, is a match that I know made your list and one you're very, very fond of. The aforementioned Maxwell Jacob Friedman, the opener last year. He and Daniel Garcia in a match that I think its finish didn't do it justice, right? I think the finish has kind of allowed people to forget. They had a hell of a wrestling match, Novi. Memories of that and that kind of that weird snapshot we were waiting, is Danny going to stay? What's going to happen? Really good wrestling match.
Yeah, I feel like I talk about Danny on every show, which is like it's fitting at this point. But it's just the moment that captured, where there's obviously the contract stuff going on with Danny, and it was just a really weird time in terms of his creative. Like it had been for a while, because the contract stuff had been going on for so long. I wasn't even sure if this match was going to happen because of it. Like that's how weird it got. And this match did take place. It was the opener, and I would venture to guess that because of the contract stuff, that the ending was a little fucky. But before then, it was a fire that I saw in Danny that I don't think people had seen for a minute. It was one of those things where it was like, you sign a guy like this because this is the kind of performance he can give you. And it was a good reminder too for Max, who has stretches where sometimes things can be a little missed for some people. It was a reminder to them, like Max at his very best can like bring just the fire out of his opponents to a level I don't think many people in AEW can, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it was a shame, to be honest, because of his schedule. Max couldn't be around for a little bit after that, because if you remember, he lost to Ospreay, and then there's a 2-week window, or is 1 week, whatever it is, in between those two things where he's no longer doing the Face of America stuff, and he's just like really mad at Daniel Garcia, and it was really good stuff. The angles for that match, as Novi said, were strong, and the match was too. An early gold memory, Caden. Was you with us for that? That was a really early LNG Gold stream.
Yeah, that would have been our first AEW pay-per-view going along for gold. Yeah, I was there. That's a match that like I remember quite liking at the time. Yeah, like y'all have mentioned, it is hurt by the finish, and that's where it kind of hurt me a little bit when I think about All Out. And like when I think about last year's All Out, I go to the Willow and Kris match, and I go to the Death Riders angle. I go to the main event. And so I think and that's not to say like that match wasn't great. It is. It's just like because of that, it does kind of it's one that will probably get lost to time the more it goes on. And it just shows like how good everything was above that it still was able to crack the list. Are
we surprised that it's in at 15? Is that about where you'd have expected? I just told you to just guess.
That was
It's a-
expected because I
Yeah,
remember
it's
too on the
about
Grin
right.
along because we were like on the timeline and people were not feeling it as much as we were. I think it's
Yeah.
aged pretty well now because like the finish kind of doesn't matter as much. But in the immediate moment, I think the finish kind of ruined it for some people.
Yeah.
But you take that part of it out, like it is a great match.
Yeah, and to that point, it's what Caden said. There is a lot of stuff here, right? Which is interesting because, in fairness, All Out is, and this says a lot about AEW's pay-per-view history. It's probably one of their more uneven events in the sense that I think there've been a couple that weren't as strong, right? It's been 2020 was a pretty rough event, right?
Yeah,
It was hot, it was muggy, and it wasn't a great show. Matt Hardy almost died.
Yeah.
The tooth and nail match. It was a weird show.
Weird show, and 2022, because everyone just remembers Brawl Out, I thought was like really up and down, and
that was a weird,
show.
yeah.
Yeah, because you had the
that show was
trios
just
tournament
weird.
final, which was awesome. You had
Yes.
the main event, which for some people was pretty great. Others, it's like fine. And the backstage stuff afterwards. It was like 15 matches in total, where some were like squashes because
Yep.
Christian was hurt, so that had him having to be a squash. Ricky and
It's
Hobbs
also
was a
like a-
squash.
Mhm.
A bunch of
This
stuff.
is like a not necessarily to do with like the quality of the show, but it's also like a really weird looking show, and that like throws off the vibe for me entirely. To be honest,
How do you
Every
mean?
time I
Like,
see
I
it.
can't remember what the.
it's just like it's so dark and
It's
like
dark, rugged, like really.
yeah,
What
like
was it-
there's
what-
it's
was
I
it
don't know. It's like
was it a short, like a thin house? What was the deal with
I'm
that?
not sure
It wasn't
No,
a
the
house
house-
thing, 'cause
the house
I
was very
actually
good.
I know
Yeah,
what
the
you're
house was
talking
great.
about, Bus. It was like a weird
Yeah.
time. I
because
don't
like
know what
even
it
if you go
was.
back and look at like clips from the Dark Order Elite whatever the fuck trios match, the crowd's going crazy, but like the lights aren't on at all, and like the
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was
I
that
remember
era where
that.
they were
Really
selling
weird.
like 5,000 like seats and all that stuff. They were doing good business, but they would never light the crowd. It was so weird.
yeah.
Yeah. Just this is an interesting question. I think Double or Nothing is the weakest catalog, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
think-
definitely.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
There was like a few like not like bottom tier stuff on there. You'd probably-
2022 wasn't great. A lot of 2023 was kind of weird.
Yeah.
This year's was
2023 a weird
fantastic,
show.
though, I will say.
Yeah, I loved this year's. 2023 was
Double
That
or
was
Nothing has
bad.
become probably like one of their weakest, consistently weaker pay-per-views.
But Double or Nothing is one that I think would be. I don't know if there's a peer in terms of AEW of. They have, for better or worse, I think it will become an issue when we're doing it in 5 years. But the Anarchy thing is like an actual attraction for that.
I was
show.
gonna say
Now,
like
Yeah.
It is.
the best match in the history of
I
Double
think
Nothing
so.
is the first Anarchy.
or
And that has like a
this
that could
year's
be the
main
best
event.
match in the history of the company too.
This year's main event was great. But yes, I mean we're there
Hangman and
thereabouts.
Ospreay, right?
Yeah,
The best
that
thing they
match
ever did was
very,
Owen
very,
Final
very good.
Yeah, that's actually the truth. It was in such a weird slot, and the Owen kind of
Yeah.
felt like it should be there, and it finally got switched to that point. Like just
Yeah.
the way they formatted it helped so much. It was crazy.
Because it
Hope it
gave
gets
the people
good, though.
something to look forward to on that show. And you didn't have to worry about a Mox Death Riders world title match where it's like, oh my God, is this going to be any good? Is it going to send the crowd home unhappy?
Right.
No, you got Hangman and Ospreay just going insane and Hangman getting the shock win. And people are like, oh my shit, oh my God, here we go. It's time for All In season. And it set
Still
the
a main
tone for
event.
the rest of that build. Yeah.
Are there any other match type, like baked in, kind of you buy the ticket, you presume you're going to get that step in AEW? Are there any other examples of that on pay per view, or is it just Anarchy at Double or Nothing? I'm trying to think.
That's kind
For
of
a minute, it was Stadium. For like Same Stampede used to run, but that
No,
was
but
like
that was kind of
that was
that's not
early
bad
days.
necessity.
It's not, it doesn't really count.
They've
you know?
technically only done one stadium stampede with an actual like full crowd.
I guess like
Yeah.
Yeah. So it
The-
doesn't really
Anarchy's
count.
basically the sequel, right? Anarchy's
The-
basically
yeah.
the
It's the
The
sequel
Gauntlet
for
All
that's like
In.
fitting for a full crowd. They should just
Yes.
do a full brawl in front of everyone instead of doing the
Yeah.
tape segment
I guess
for like 10 minutes.
the Gauntlet at All In is probably the closest thing we have, right? Because they've done it 2 years in a row.
yeah. But
is now.
I guess they've reined it in. But at one point, it felt like the Gauntlet was just going to be a thing he did on every big show.
Yeah, they haven't done
Yeah.
one.
No, he's pulled
Or
back
one.
on it.
It's
Yeah.
fun. It worked for like that pay per view, and then they decided to run it like twice more within the same year. They ran it like
Yeah.
within a
Yeah.
couple weeks
Yeah,
afterwards.
and they
'cause
got
just
hired
loved
on
it so
supply
much.
doing the tag one. And then
Ospreay won
just
all of them.
started to do it.
Yeah.
The tag, yeah, the tag one was a happy
Rough.
That was
Yeah.
crazy.
Not great.
There you go, folks. Now, we were just talking about some of the kind of lower points in this show's history. I think wherever you stand on CM Punk and AEW, 2021 All Out is a moment in time, right? That is a point where it felt the night of that show, when that show ended, dude, it felt like wrestling was changing in significant ways. And it was. Wrestling, has changed a lot, but it felt like things were about to get insane. It felt like, we just watched the NWO form on Bash of the Beach, right? It felt like that level of happening. Of course, that's the night where CM Punk makes his return to the ring, and as I mentioned earlier, Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson, the double debut, which is something we'll probably never see anything like that again, I think, in either promotion, because it was just a perfect storm. The match that went on before that double debut is our number 14, one that's probably a victim of what followed it, and, the fact that people knew there wasn't going to be a title change. Christian Cage, Kenny Omega. Marcus, I feel like, I don't think this is low at 14 because there's a lot of great matches, but I feel like this has become underrated because people just remember everything surrounding it and not the match. What do you think?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually kind of surprised it made the list at all because it's so underrated.
Yeah.
I remember liking it at the time. The crowd was just I wouldn't say the crowd was dead.
They were tired,
but
for sure.
They were tired, and they seen a bunch of crazy shit happen. Like the opener of the show was a really good match.
Yeah.
Moxley Kojima was an underrated match on this show also.
Good match.
The Bucks and the Lucha Brothers cage match was an all-timer.
And they knew Bryan was coming. They didn't know Adam Cole was coming, but they knew Bryan was coming.
Bro,
they were waiting for that, right?
That cage match happened. Oh my god.
More on that later.
What a show, bro. Holy.
It's such a fantastic show. But yeah, like the crowd was kind of subdued. You knew what the result was going to be. You'd already seen the match on the first Rampage, and it was probably the better version of that match by country mile. So it was good. It served its purpose. A top row one wing edge was fucking insane. Shout out Kenny. We all know how beat up he was at the time, and he just kind of had a professional, brisk, really nice match with Christian. He was having a good little run at the time. I don't remember a bunch about the build towards it, but the match itself was fun. It was good.
The build mostly was what you mentioned with the TNA match, right? Which I, in real time, thought that match was way better than the pay-per-view match. When I rewatched them last year, I wasn't as convinced by that. I think the pay-per-view match is just a victim of Rampage had a fresh crowd on a TV premiere. This had a tired crowd on a classic pay-per-view. Buster, do you have any memories of liking this? Are you surprised it's here? What do you reckon?
I remember liking it a lot. I don't have like any true core memories of the match. Honestly, I have more memories of the Rampage match for some reason.
There's the premiere. Yeah,
that match is awesome.
The crowd for that is amazing, dude.
But I do remember liking it generally. I thought it was I remember going into it not being as excited just because like reasons. Well, it'll be on the list. All right. But yeah, I like the match. I was obviously just more like when the match ended, I was like, okay, where's Bryan? That's all I wanted, to be honest.
Indeed.
Hey, lest you forget, the match that preempted this one on the show was Paul White and QT Marshall.
That was crazy.
That
was supposed to be a match
I was
that was just a cool down, but
I was
it's so funny.
Full blown AEW sexual because I was like, this match is gonna fucking rule.
So I love Paul White, and because I'm an insane person, when he would talk about like I want to wrestle Kenny Omega, I'd be like, yeah, damn right.
That's all right, bro.
I'll never forget, dude. Like it was a cool down match, and he wasn't trying to have a classic. I remember watching him physically walk out and being like,
Was that the famous Manny picture that he edited?
No, that was the one.
2023.
Yeah, when he was with like Omega and Ibushi.
Yeah.
That was so funny.
Yeah,
like he had a fucking shark bite his damn hip out or something like that. It was so weird.
Now, to be clear, it's a beast thing to do on pay per view because you do need cooldown matches. But I just remember watching the way he moved and being like, it's gonna be tough for Big Paul. And I think he's had a few surgeries since then. I want to say he's still there, right?
Yeah, he's still around.
Does he like? How do I ask this in a less blunt way than I was about to? Is he involved in the project still, Caden?
Good.
Wait, what?
Paul White, is he still, involved in the day-to-day happenings of All Elite Wrestling?
Oh, I don't know.
I see him go out.
Is the last time we saw him, other than like pre-shows, was it fucking Hobbs?
Yes.
I think yes.
Was it really?
It was.
When he goes
That's
through the
awesome.
car windshield, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did do the thing again. You mentioned the pre-show. He was with the Rizzler.
Oh, the Rizzler thing.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I can't believe you forgot that. You love
Yeah.
that stuff. He took his-
Let's
Hey.
come back, buddy.
Hey, don't let him fool you. That man was popping huge at All In this year. Don't let
Was
him
he
fool you.
really?
We were both popping huge, bro.
Wow. Okay. All right.
This is
He
very
was
funny.
he was an authority figure on Ring of Honor for a minute.
He was
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
part of the judges what's the term that he was given?
He was one of the board of
He was the-
directors.
Yeah, he was the board of directors
Yeah.
of Ring of Honor.
Is it him and Stokely or whatever?
It was him, Stokely, and Jerry Lynn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got beast actually. Hold on.
He took his shirt off the other day.
Did he really?
Jerry Lynn.
Oh, Jerry Lynn. No.
Yeah.
I thought we were talking
Yeah,
about Paul
no.
White. I
No,
was
he
like,
took
oh.
his shirt,
He's
he
like
took his shirt
the-
off
for
to
some
do
reason-
a Max Caster, Anthony Bowen's segment.
Yeah, he's
So-
like for some reason very passionate. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. No, you're absolutely fine. No need for that. Oh, I was cutting you off for different reasons, and I'm glad I was. Before we hit number 13, I do want to actually ask you guys, what's your guess for the 1 seed here? And again, we had like 50 replies. It's a very informal thing. But if I just said to you, what's going to win this? What do you guys think will win it? I'm intrigued.
I
before we
think
go
Brian, Ricky.
I think
I,
Bryan
knowing our,
Brian and Rick.
Bucks, Lucha
audience,
Bros cage
is
match.
that.
That was my
Lucha
second
Bros,
guess.
Brian and Ricky. Okay. All right. Awesome. We're going to stick in 2021 for our number 13. A match that, in terms of atmosphere, was red hot as it was the opener.
Oh, yeah.
TNT title. Miro, Eddie Kingston. This was fucking awesome, Caden. I remember Eddie Kingston, when they first got back in front of fans, was so over because the people hadn't had a chance to show him what they thought of him.
Mm-hmm.
Raucous. It had a tiny build, this deal, and it had the, redeem these nuts and all that business,
Yeah.
which made that t-shirt that people wore willingly. And Miro, it's easy to forget, dude, because unfortunately he hasn't replicated in the 4 years since. Yes, it's been 4 years. He was in incredible form, Caden, this time. Do you remember this match? And this feels like a fair ranking. It would have been a little higher for me, but it was great, right?
Yeah, this is Miro's really finding his groove as TNT champion at this time, because I think he wins it from Darby maybe a few months before this, before they leave dailies.
It was like
It was
April.
in
I think.
May, yeah.
Yeah, May. There you
Yeah.
go. Perfect.
Yeah, because I think it was like was it right before or right after Double or Nothing, Marcus? It wasn't at
Before.
the pay per
It's
view.
before, because he
Before, I was at the
worked
show.
after
He
it.
beat Darby.
Was it
It was the
the-
match. It was the show
was
where
it
it had the Bucks.
Blood and Guts?
No, it was a little bit after that. It was the It was the show that had the Bucks SCU match where
I know. Yeah,
SCU lose,
yeah.
they disbanded.
Yeah.
The match where Pac murdered Orange Cassidy on a Dr. Bomb.
Yeah, because
Like a
Miro
bomb, excuse me.
worked Archer at Double or Nothing, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he's starting to kind of like really find his groove with everything, the vignettes, and then his work is insanely crisp at this point. And Eddie too. Like Eddie is awesome. You said it already, Joe, but I was gonna say you're the Redeemer. Well, redeem D's nuts, and that is
Yeah.
one of my favorite promo lines I think of all time in AEW. Which to be fair, most of my top 10 promo lines come from Eddie Kingston. It's you have the red hot crowd too, and you just get a really fun match that it really. I talked about the Daniel Garcia and Max match, not because of the finish. It's kind of like not remembered as much because of how insane that show is specifically. This one I think gets snuck under there all the time.
Yeah.
Especially with Miro. Like whenever you think about Miro's TNT title reign, there's so many other things people go to instead, and this is probably his best match in that reign. It doesn't get remembered the way it deserves to be.
It's a match that I think there is a contingent. This is the favorite match for them on the show. I know that exists because I've seen it. It's not there for me, but it is definitely one of my favorite matches on the show, and I remember it very fondly. Novi, how about you?
Yeah, I just remember the run more specifically because like I've made multiple videos on the TNT title at this point. Every time I bring up how good the Redeemer was, I don't know if I'm looking through that lineage, I still don't know if he's been beaten. Just in terms of like my enjoyment of a TNT title run, it was just everything. Him just destroying the roster and then him having to take on the Mad King, getting all the love he was getting. He shuts him down. This is like, it's very reminiscent. If you watch this match, you'll understand like why that gimmick was so popular and why Eddie Kingston is so beloved as he is now.
Speaking of such, he of course returns to the ring here tomorrow. Big Bill. Very excited to see Eddie. You know, I think we're all going to have tempered expectations because that was a serious injury for any pro wrestler, let alone a guy as deep in their career as him.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm very excited to see him, and I think he's going to get an incredible reaction in Toronto. So, and for that, in terms of this particular night, though, in hindsight, fellas, they should have just put the belt on Ed, right? I mean, I think...
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
my
That was
big
probably the
takeaway from
opportunity to do
like
it.
the match. My biggest memory was being really annoyed that Eddie didn't win the belt, especially
Well,
because they gave it to fucking Sammy Guevara.
That's the thing.
That's so wild in
It was,
hindsight.
it
to
was
look
such
back
a
on.
weird turn. Like it made no sense. No one thought it was going to happen, and then it
Yeah.
was celebrated the whole time.
I think
Really
in
strange.
I think Sammy's thing in hindsight doesn't make sense, but at the time it was kind of telegraphed, and it
Liberal.
felt like while some people didn't agree with that decision, it was very much like it was telegraphed.
Yeah, because they did the whole Fuego thing.
'Cause they did
and
the,
he
the
came
Fuego
out.
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
People didn't expect Eddie to win because it did feel like Miro had legs still as champion.
Mm-hmm.
But I just, in hindsight, dude, like, I don't know. I just, Sammy's reigns, like, genuinely, and it's not all his fault at all because the creative was terrible and there were other factors, Cody
Really
being
bad.
one, Scorpio Sky, but like the Sammy Guevara era of the TNT title was fucking horrifically bad, dude.
Bro, I've covered it
crazy.
so many times because it just makes me like it's such a weird time to think about. Like the UFC invasion or the MMA invasion, I should
Yeah.
say. It was just like, oh my, Dan Lambert was some of the worst TV you'll ever see. I'm so serious. Like
Yeah.
it's just horrifically bad, bro.
'Cause he
Like
dropped-
I get why
Drops
they did it because he's a young guy. He was over at the time. People did like him,
He was very over.
and he was good. He was having fun matches. So I get them trying to
Yeah.
give him an accolade with the first TNT Championship run, which I actually liked. After that, however, that's where things got weird.
Well, he
Bro,
dropped to. He
drops
lost it on
this-
Christmas, right?
He lost to because he drops it to Cody on a pre-taped Rampage. It was the Christmas pre-taped Rampage. Then Cody gets hurt for the week, and then he ends up winning the interim title off of Dustin at Battle for the Belts
I
in
was
Charlotte.
there.
Yeah.
Which, yes, nobody was there for.
So
and
he's a
then
babyface.
Then they do the
ladder
then they do
match.
the unification in the ladder match.
Then
And then he drops it to Scorp.
him and Scorpio do the double turn that then reverses.
Yeah. Because they trade it. So Scorpio wins it, Sammy wins it back, Scorpio wins it again.
I remember, like, look, people can give Scorpio shit. I never will because for me, what he's pulled off in the last 6 years should be. I think they should put a statue of him. But when he won the belt in that ladder match, dude, they actually got people to be really excited about that. If you go back and watch the reaction he got, and then they immediately flipped him back heel.
Because it was in
It's
LA,
so
was
weird.
it? Or it was in like California. So people were pretty excited about
I
it.
don't know where it was, but it was
Because
got
he,
great
had,
reaction.
he had the
right?
custom belt afterwards, and
He had
people
the
were like,
custom
wow,
Lakers
it
belt,
looks
yeah.
really sick. Like there's a vibe here.
I think
Has there, okay, random question.
early
Slightly.
2022. Yeah, I think no, they weren't in LA. I don't know where they were.
No, they
'cause I
weren't in
don't-
LA.
Oh, they might have. You know what? They might have actually been because that June 1st Dynamite is the first LA show. I think they were in LA.
Mhm.
No, because June
I
1st
think
that's way
It's the-
before then.
It's the second. It's the second time he wins it. The second time he wins it was when they go to LA for Double or Nothing,
This timeline
where
is
they
so
go to Vegas and then they go to LA.
Oof.
Because
This timeline's so funky.
he wins it because Scorpio wins it once around like March because they hot potato because it's
Battle of the
Sammy to
Belts,
Scorpio
yeah.
back to Sammy.
See,
and
again,
then Scorpio wins it right around Double or
the
Nothing.
point of all this being the Sammy Guevara saga with the TNT title, whether it was his fault or not, was fucking terrible. And it also is the time where the belt stops being on pay per view. Because at Full Gear they
Yeah.
do like he teams with Darby and Sting. It's not on pay per view in a ton on any of those shows.
It's
Is
not
it?
on pay per view. Revolution, it's not on pay per view because they do the Face of the Revolution ladder match that Wardlow wins.
And then
You
he
know-
defended the belt on Rampage in that 3-way.
not to continue TNT for too long.
Yeah. Oh, that
None of the-
three-way's so
Bro.
fucking good.
None of these reigns are even the worst one. The worst reign, and it's not his fault at all, was Powerhouse Hobbs of
Yeah.
the TNT
Yeah, 'cause
title.
he doesn't. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Literally doesn't do a thing for like a month.
QTV. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was a crazy time.
it got
Random
worse
question.
somehow.
Has there been a single good custom TNT title?
I like
the
the,
Grin-
I
the
like
Grin
the
one is
Miro
good.
one. The
Yeah.
Miro one
I
was
like the
cool.
Miro
That
one.
one's
I like
ugly
Jack-
as fuck, bro.
Ah,
It's got the
I
green
like Jack
ribbon. That
Perry's.
shit's
I like
ass.
the original. I like the original red strap. I really do.
I actually like a few of them. I think.
I think I like
I don't
all of
like
them, to
any
be
of them,
fair.
bro.
I think
Yeah,
every
really?
single one
I
like.
actually don't know if there's one I don't like. Even Jack Perry's I liked.
Jack
Even
Perry's
when
is
it's-
cool.
I like
Like,
Jack.
it was novel. It's not a pretty title. Scorpio's is fucking ugly because it wasn't even like really gold. It was like mustard yellow.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah.
Okay,
But
well,
then,
how do we feel about the plastic TNT title?
Ass.
Wait, what
Like
was
before
that?
it was finished.
The Toys R Us TNT title because they couldn't get the belt made during COVID.
Yeah, there was just like there was
yeah.
no gold on it or anything.
Yeah.
It was just a piece of plastic. It was
But,
like a
like,
toy
just
belt you
dirt.
get from Walmart.
The Miro one's the best looking one, but it has the green ribbon on it. It's so ugly.
It's so
Like
good.
green?
Yeah.
My God. I do want to know, while we're on the topic of Miro, I was there, so I'm not saying it's a top 5 match. I was kind of surprised that the Hobbs match wasn't in the top 15, to be honest. Like,
It almost went on my list, Joe.
now, I do wonder if part of that is because it is crimes are held against it for
Yes.
the way that's become like a trend since.
Yes.
But like that match was fucking awesome, dude. Like, I was there.
It was an awesome
cool as
match.
hell. Yeah.
It's just it has spawned a
Yeah.
There's
A
a big
subgenre.
problem.
a fucking
Big problem.
virus.
Yeah, I get
It's a
that.
parasite.
Dude, it got
Or-
one vote, bro. It got one. It came in one
That's
poll.
wild.
It was
That's
number
wild.
5. It came in at number 5 on that one point. That's it. Unless I
Well,
missed.
that-
If I missed one, then I apologize.
That's the thing, though. Like, it's hard to put it top 5 because I think the catalog is so good. Like, it's a great match, but
Yeah.
I understand like not thinking
I
of
agree,
that
but
one.
like, if I just said to you, what match will AEW fans be higher on historically? That match or Dan and Max? Like, I would have presumed it would be the meat match.
Can I change my number 1 vote, by the way?
What?
I mean, I think you should just reveal at the end what you'd change because I can't change the.
No, I mean, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm sorry. You asked earlier what we think.
Oh, your
the-
guess. Yeah.
Mox and Orange Cassidy.
Okay,
Yes.
there you go. But yeah, in the building, Miro and Hobbs was fucking incredible. But anyway,
Yeah.
up next, a pairing that I don't think I'm spoiling anything by saying are going to become, more relevant later. The ladder match with the Lucha Bros and the Young Bucks, 2019. Is it fair to say that would be the signature match from the 2019 All Out, right?
Escalera de la Muerte.
There you go. Now, Marcus, was you on the guys did Relay? I don't know if you were on Relay at that point, but I'm sure you have memories of this one, right?
He was.
He was there.
Very,
He was there.
very fond ones.
Wonderful. Talk us through this one. Are you surprised it didn't crack the top 10? Because this is a crazy ladder match.
I'm shocked it didn't crack the top 10, quite honestly.
Yeah.
Like that was like one of that was the first great match in the pay-per-view's history for me. Like it was everything they said it was. It's ladder of death, and they literally tried to kill themselves. Like
Yeah.
I forgot which one it was. I think it was Nick. Like he got his leg caught on the top rope while going through a table, and like just like splat. I thought he dislocated his shoulder that day. I was like, oh my god.
Mhm.
They're trying to kill themselves. The destroyer off the top of the ladder to the tables that Penta did. The spot they love doing, and then they do it in every single match, especially if it's a stip, where the older brothers hit the younger brothers with moves like off the top of something. It's insane. Like they're insane for doing that shit. And funny enough, it wasn't even for the AEW tag titles weren't even made yet. It was for the AAA tag titles. Funny enough.
Wow, you're right. Because that was a Dynamite vehicle, right? The tag titles were a Dynamite thing. Yeah, that's wild.
And it was my dad's birthday that day too.
Hell yeah, brother. Do we think this is hurt by the fact that I just think less people were watching? Because
Probably.
this is before they're
Yeah.
even on TV. Like, I'm not saying it because, look, again, when we get to top 10, you'll realize there's a lot of heavy competition. But I do wonder if, Caden, you'll have memories of this time. But do you think a lot of the fan base locks in once it hits TNT? I presume they do,
Look,
right?
Maybe, but and that's a good point. However, I also think it's hurt by the fact that it's like not a good match.
Oh, here he goes.
Boo!
I don't like.
Guys.
I think this
Boo!
match sucks.
I
Boo!
forgot he had this opinion. He did this
I'm-
on
Yeah,
Relay.
y'all
I
take care.
genuinely-
I'll be right back.
I genuinely really do not like this match. It has cool spots. There's
Oh, this is
about it
one of
that
your
just
worst
does not work
takes.
for
Oh,
me.
The Oracle of-
man.
I
the
don't
Oracle of
know
Wrestling.
what it is. It's
Hashtag
my biggest
smarter.
Oracle- It's my biggest Oracle of Wrestling thing ever because this is something that I feel like I would love. And Joey said that. It was like it feels like it's something that's up my alley.
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't think this is good.
Well,
This
no,
feels like a
yes.
Caden wasn't in a good mood that day, and so he's just decided.
No, I've seen it. I was in person. I
You
remember.
can
I
be in a
liked
bad
in
mood
person 'cause
multiple days.
Okay,
I
so
went to Chicago and
You know,
I
you
liked it in
know what we're gonna do,
person.
Caden. You know what we're gonna
I've
do.
rewatched it 2 or 3 times. No time I've liked it again.
We are going to put you in an infinite Tsukuyomi and make you rewatch that match for 72 hours.
so what was the relight lineup? Marcus was there. You said Novi, right?
It was the 3 of us, I'm pretty sure.
It was
Because
a 3.
So
yeah, it was just 3 of us.
Novi, where did you stand? Because you wouldn't have watched this the first time round, right?
No, I'd never seen it. I think actually, when the time we watched it, I liked it. It's not something I super connect with, but I can also like acknowledge that it's a really great match. I'm not being too woke about it, is what I'm saying.
And it is the first, to Marcus's point, it is like the first great match in a sort of consensus way. Whatever Caden thinks of it, got put in that side, it's clearly that. And I think, is there anything else on 2019 that's like, because this is the only match that's on here from 2019.
Yeah, there's no other like
Kenny
super
Pack that was
notable
really
thing.
There's
good.
another
but-
good match.
Kenny and Pac.
Cracker Barrel match was good.
Kenny and Pac got 2 votes, both at 5. So that's the only other one that got votes. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and that match is good, but it's also like then they would go on to have a better match.
they'd have to do way better on TV.
And it was overshadowed by the fact it was a replacement match because it was supposed to be Kenny and Mox.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, and I remember that because that sets up Moxley's return at Dynamite 1, right? When he emerges behind Omega. Yeah.
Yeah, there was also a
makes sense.
plunder match on there that I don't want to remember because of one of the people in it.
but it's a good match.
Joey
It's
Janela.
fire. It's a fire match. I ain't gonna lie. It is great.
Folks, if you're enjoying this so far, this trip down memory lane, please do, as Bob O'Neill would say, smash the like button. I'm really enjoying this because it's just AEW, much like WCW before it. It has an ability to create all these mini eras within itself because there's so many different chapters of the story, right? I mean, it's. I'm sure it'll be the same with TNA, where it'll be like, okay, who's running it at this point? What's happening here? So, I love that about wrestling history, even recent history like this. In at 11, just missing out on the top 10. A match that the Oracle of Wrestling loved, which makes it even funnier what happened afterwards. Hangman Adam Page and the Dark Order versus the Elite. The original Trios title match. I think more so than the main event. Often people will say, people forget how great Mox and Punk was because of what happened afterwards. I think this match is actually far more a victim of that because with Punk and Mox, it's kind of part of Punk's thing, right? Like, I think people forget this match happened. And at the time, there was a lot of pushback on the Dark Order kind of being rejuvenated for this run. Whatever you think of that act or like what they've been since, this match is great, Novi, right? This actually, I think, on merit would be in my top 10. What do you reckon, Novi? You surprised by this?
No, this match was heavily debated in my mind whether it was going to feature on my top 5. It's incredible. I know, like you mentioned the kind of pushback against the Dark Order. They were really good in this run, and it made a lot of sense for Hangman at the time as a character to get back with them and their whole story, especially coming out of this match. Like, they kind of get cut off afterwards because of the spot at the end where Hangman accidentally hits John Silver. And that's like a moment in time because it's kind of like, you don't work well with these guys, but imagine if you were with us, it would have been different. And then they go on to do all they did with the trios belts. This is like very underrated classic stuff in AEW, in my opinion.
I agree, actually. I think this deserves more love. Is this one you guys remember like vividly, or is it one where when I said it, you go, "Oh yeah"? Where do you?
I
guys
remember it
stand?
pretty vividly.
I remember it a lot. Yeah.
The build. I disagree with Novi. I was like really annoyed when Hangman went back to the Dark Order.
Yeah,
Like, it makes sense story wise. I just have no desire to see it. But obviously, like, they proved me wrong in the match because it's fantastic and the crowd is incredibly hot. Obviously, like, the moment in the match is when Kenny and Hangman drag their partners to the corners, tag in, and then come back in, and it's like a whole like, let's fucking do this,
Yeah.
That's a great moment from the match. And then obviously the finish is fantastic. Yeah. I remember watching it live. It was very, very good.
It was it's the most thing I remember the most in terms of like match quality from that show. And like, again, the Dark Order stuff, like, say what you want about it. It worked out in the end because the crowd, when they got there in the moment on the night, they remembered everything. Like, they remembered the Hangman's Tale. They remember the Dark Order's part in it. They remember the elimination match at Fight for the Fallen? Yeah. They remember all that. They remember the title match. Drug their partners back so they can like have their first in-ring interaction since then. The tournament itself, especially on the Dynamite side, was tremendous. I remember the the Aussie Open, the Ospreay versus Death
That match
Triangle
is
match.
so good.
It's
Yeah.
fucking sick. Ignoring the fact that Kip Sabian played a part in the finish, I'll ignore that part. But on the night, like Silver and Reynolds put on good performances. Like they shocked me about how good they were in that match. Obviously the Bucks and Kenny, and then Kenny was doing the whole "Am I still dead?" thing. Like he came out with like the padding and the compression shirts, and then on the night he said, actually, yeah, I'm good, guys. I look like a fucking god again." And he came out there and just did his thing. Finish was cool. This was the thing that was hurt most by everything that happened afterwards, because I was really excited to see what was going to happen with the Trios division. I really want to see what they were going to go from this junction instead of just jumping back to the Death Triangle stuff when they came back.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, it's been 3 years and they're still there, so it feels strange to say what I'm about to say. But this is kind of at the end of Dark Order's run, right?
Yeah.
The final bye-bye.
Because, and they're a victim of that, what we just described. But like, when they tried to reboot them the following summer, it felt like people just didn't want to see that, and
Yeah.
it was always
the last time
difficult. They
people
didn't want to
took them
be.
serious.
Yeah, and people didn't want to. I don't think people wanted them to be heels, but they had run their course as baby faces. But when you look at this match, they were pretty unlucky in that regard, right? Like, fuck, they had this match we all agree was like a classic, and Oracle. I remember vividly, Oracle loved this match at the time. So, yeah, interesting times. Caden, any memories of this before we hit the top 10?
Yeah, I love this match. This was this is my number 4. I think it's incredibly slept on. Over the past few years, the Punk and you brought up Punk and Moxley, and how this is probably more hurt than that. And I agree, because I think the Punk and Moxley one, with how much has happened with Punk, like where his career's gone since he left 2 years ago. I think that match has kind of like gotten its turn and people talk about it more. This one still gets forgotten about, and I think a good reason for that might be because of what the Elite do with the Game 7, because they come back 2 months later and they do the best of 7 series, which everyone kind of like goes to. So they talk about that, or they talk about the tournament, and then this match kind of just gets lost in the shuffle a little bit. It's incredible. Everything about it is fantastic. I was very excited to see Hangman doing the stuff with the Dark Order, because I wanted him to finish that story. That's just the type of fan I was back in 2022. I think maybe 2025 Caden, if they did that. If you took me currently and put me in 2022, I might not like it, but I did at the time. And yeah, I remember exactly where I was sitting in, what was the Sears? It used to be called Sears Center. What's it called? Now Arena. I remember vividly where I was. It was the second match on the show. God, I loved it. Fantastic.
Awesome. Let's get into the top 10, fellas. By the way, Bob isn't here. We don't have that graphic where Green Bob comes out load on productions. Like count down, folks. Help us, please. Friday night. Here we go.
God.
Top 10. We're sticking with Kenny by God Omega to kick off our top 10. We are returning to 2023. Each match with Konosuke Takeshita. Probably a victim of more memorable matches happening on that night. But man, a great match, and I'll always remember being there. Omega taking that crazy head drop. That was a scary moment. Yeah, it was a scary moment. So, I don't have as many live memories of this as I do some of the other matches on the show because of how great they were. But I remember it well enough to know that this was great in its own right. Buster, would you agree with that assessment? Do you remember this one well?
I think this match is kind of overrated.
Oh, wow. Okay, Caden, okay, hang on a
Slaughter.
second. Is Caden co-signing this? Is he doubling down?
No.
No, yeah.
Okay.
Listen, I think the match is a good match. It's a good match.
You don't think it should be
My
10?
brother's now at my door. Yep.
In the meantime, what do we think? Is this warrant a 10 spot? What do we think, fellas? I remember this being really, really good.
Me personally, I would not be #smarter, and I would give it his top 10 ranking, because this match was tremendous. It's a little undone by how wonky the Kenny to catch the stuff and the Don Callis family stuff was, because it felt like, because it was basically Kenny versus Don, not Kenny versus Takeshita. You just kind of fucking stand in. And Screwdriver lore also. But the match was fucking awesome. They did DDT lore in this, okay? Kenny came out in DDT tights. I'll take that. And you know how I feel about that promotion, but Kenny was in it, so I'll excuse it for this particular moment. And he took a neck bump immediately.
He did. I wasn't surprised by this being in the top 10. Novi, are you surprised? Are you pushing back? What do you stand on this, Mal?
I'm not. This is my number 4 on the
There you
list,
go.
which might be a little surprising for me, honestly. But I was fully caught up in like the dream match aspect of it being Takeshita and Omega, and it's like this was the actual match because I'm pretty sure they did one before this, right? And this is kind of the rematch of it, or was it the other way around where they did one afterwards? If I'm
They did one
mistaken.
after this, right?
Afterwards.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm remembering because I'm remembering this being like the first clash and it being kind of weird because it wasn't like they didn't firmly put over Takeshita, which was like everyone thought this was going to be the moment where he'd be super elevated. And so that's probably why like it's remembered weird because Takeshita, he just kind of like flatlined after this, which was just a strange move looking back.
Yeah.
But the match itself,
Then they moved the
chemistry,
Kane
bro.
thing to Jericho, and then that was weird.
Yeah. But the
Yeah.
chemistry between these two was like everything you could have dreamed it could have been, you know?
Yeah,
My
I
only
remember
thought
it being
was-
really
Honestly,
good.
my only thought was that it probably should have been at Wembley. That's my
Yes,
only
Yeah,
you're
Kenny
right.
should have had a singles match at Wembley. That was
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah, it was
stupid.
really
dumb
dumb.
decision. Browsen asks all out match of the Revolution match. I assume he means Takeshita and Will for the Revolution match.
No, the
Or did they
Revolution
have-
was Kenny Takeshita.
This year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah, 'cause they
Will and
wrestled-
Takeshita
I
was
got-
last year. Yeah,
Fucking all out, I guess, because I don't remember that match at all.
that was the one where Kenny sells like he's midsection.
Oh well, then yeah,
Yeah,
definitely
like,
the all
he
out
dropped
match.
Kenny on a table on the edge on his
Yeah.
gut. Like it was
Why
basically
they-
the old man Kenny fighting back, but this was a firefight.
Damn, I think both these matches are kind of similar to me then. At that point, I love both those matches.
I think they're
in
both
just different ways.
I think they're
Yeah.
both very, very good, borderline great. I think they're both victims of the way he does pay-per-views, which is like
Yeah.
it's a blessing much more than it's a curse. I want to be clear, but it is challenging sometimes to have like a conventional main event match when you're in the middle of 10 main event matches. It's
Yeah.
like
And everyone at that time was hungry to wrestle. Like they're wrestling a main
Yeah.
event match, and they did. And they had the match of their lives. Everyone
Yeah.
was
It
there
was-
involved.
right.
This is funny too because I remember that card was very strange. Watching it, we were here,
Yo,
but I think
I
this
got
was
the
the only
full
one to break
card.
through.
Yeah.
I got the full card like the week before. I was like, are they really gonna put this on pay-per-view? Like seriously?
Yeah.
And then the night happened, and it being one of the greatest pay-per-views of all time. I'm like, oh, holy
Yeah.
shit! Well, professional pride, right? You know?
Yeah, I
To be
mean,
clear, the match is really good.
you
it's
think it's
fucking awesome.
overrated.
I think
10,
there's
right?
matches before this that on the list that I would have had over this one.
I get that.
I think the Dark Order 6-man was better than this, to
I
be
do
honest. But I haven't watched them in time, so I don't know.
I will say, and for talking about this one and the Revolution one, this is better for me because this is more a firefight, and Kenny still had that fire in him.
Yeah,
and
it's
more
more of what you
explosive.
would expect the match to be
Yeah.
if it was like peak for peak kind of thing.
Yeah.
yeah. The younger, more
wasn't,
athletic guy just
like-
put him down.
Closest thing we could have gotten to it.
It's
Right.
more explosive, Kenny. That I mean, bless him. He's just
He's
miles on
trying,
the
bro.
clock, right? Yeah,
Respect.
miles on the clock.
Sands of the hourglass, baby.
Indeed. This next match, you talk about guys like Kenny Omega and Takeshita, and it's like you expect them to appear on these lists. This next match is maybe the most lightning in a bottle match in the history of AEW. 2022, Swerve in Our Glory as champions in a babyface match with the Acclaimed that it felt like transformed before our eyes into this kind of magical occasion. The Acclaimed had gradually gotten over and built up, but this was the night where their run peaked. And that's not an insult because it was an amazing peak, right? It was a special
Yeah.
occasion. And even like the ring matches, the crowd still loved the Acclaimed, but it was never the same as this. Like the matches were
Yeah.
never as good after this.
The
There are fresh
reaction to this
matches.
match was so like
This
Organic.
was jarring.
organic,
Yeah.
but also like intense that there were people on Twitter legitimately trying to be like, why the fuck didn't Tony call an audible? Like it was
Yeah,
his
they
fault.
were begging for an audible. I was begging for an audible.
Well,
Like it
I mean-
was.
I mean,
They
In
built the
hindsight-
scumbag for an audible.
in hindsight, yeah,
Yeah.
but like, what the fuck? Like, what is he supposed to do?
yeah, it would have been
That's
tough
right.
to communicate. You know.
It's like,
Paul?
yeah, I know Tony Khan booked this
Tell
match, but I don't
Bones
think he
to fucking
expected that.
I mean, you could do that though, right? I mean, it's
Yeah,
I mean,
but, like,
you'd have to
I don't
convince Keith
expect,
Lee.
especially not
but-
from Tony, like that kind of booker,
yeah,
where he's like he's so set on everything.
he's
that he
married
does.
to, but he definitely changed his plans coming out of this. 'Cause I don't think he. I
Well,
don't
for
think the
sure,
plan
yeah,
was-
because
yeah.
the Grand Slam match they end up.
I remember the Grand Slam
Mhm.
match being good. I remember the
Yeah.
next pay-per-view match being like pretty short of this, to be honest.
Mhm.
I
The full year match
It's
isn't very
just
good.
whatever.
And the Acclaimed had good matches, and
They got pretty good.
They had good
did.
matches. They never had another match like this ever.
We ready for a second run, boys?
This was
Let's
one shining
fucking
moment,
go.
I
basically.
mean,
Yeah.
I'm not against this next run, and I think they're valuable. This was a different level of match, and unfortunately, I don't know if there's ever been a more extreme example of a great tag team going in two different directions like Keith and Swerve. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Swerve has become, the franchise and all that great stuff, and Keith Lee, that's basically the end of his run, really. I mean, he does stuff, and
been
he's
gone.
around, but, like, he's not been around a lot. And as a result of that, I think, to Swerve's credit, this run is going to become a footnote, right? Like, this is what got him started in AEW. Dude, they were a great team.
They were.
They really
dude.
were.
Their chemistry was off the charts.
Big
They're
man, little man
incredible in
tag
this
teams are
match.
really good, but they had special chemistry. I remember that they had
I
a
think,
pre-show match on Forbidden Door that was tremendous.
Yes, absolutely.
I think Keith is still wrestling fucking Shane Taylor.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
still is. Yeah, they're gonna go home soon. Most relevant to Swerve's story. That match was crazy.
There's so many ways you could go with that.
Me and Brainbuster were there for that one.
Yeah.
That match was fucking, and I think a lot of Shane Taylor, and like he knows better than to do matches like that because he knows his game, and so whoever made that call, they would go 15 minutes. I assume
Being there
ribbing them,
live
I don't know.
popped me because
Wrong
Keith's
call,
mom was
man.
front row, like screaming,
bless.
losing
That's
her mind.
sick.
It was
Wait,
awesome.
this is the one where they try to do the top rope thing, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my god, do you ever see how scary that was, dude?
Yep.
It's like whoever agent there, are you trying to kill them?
Yeah.
It
Yes,
felt
someone
like
is
they were
gonna
ribbing
die,
them.
bro.
Yeah, because I remember Keith.
He really did. Yeah.
I remember they came out and Keith
Bro,
was like,
there was like nobody
walking.
there too. Like,
yeah, that show was insane vibes. I mean, there was a lot of good wrestling on it, but it was insane vibes. But
Yeah, it's one of the funniest
remember-
shows I've ever been to.
Keith like walking through some early stuff in that match and be like, "Oh fuck, they've definitely asked the big man to put time in," because he was
Yeah,
moving like he knew he needed to preserve. And look, bless him, he went through some serious health stuff. His gas tank was never the same after that because, of course,
Dude.
right? It's only natural, but
Like COVID is not a joke, guys. Especially when you're as big as Keith Lee was. Like COVID is not nothing to play with.
it's it's a shame. But they were a great team, and what's most notable with this match, fellas, this is the dynamic, this crowd reaction for the Acclaimed, which is what unlocks the personality that would make Swerve a top guy because he's such a prick in this match. You remember, like he's just antagonistic in response to this Chicago crowd, right?
Yeah.
So
They're just going after Bowen's knee like mercilessly. I think he had knee surgery like before this. That's why they were off TV for a little while.
Yeah.
Like they were just beating the ever living shit out of Bowens the whole match.
yeah, and this is the mean streak that ultimately unlocks him as a top guy. It takes a while, right? He has those really funny fellas with him at one point, and what's
Rick
interesting,
Ross,
well, that was fucking hilarious. He was
beast.
much better than the other guys.
godly.
Yeah.
You a big motherfucker.
Bro, what was that guy's name with all the tattoos?
That's what I'm
Trench.
Yes,
yeah.
Trench. Oh
And
my
Parker
god.
was there, and
Bro,
Yeah.
we're like, oh, bro, he played
Trench and
baseball,
Parker
dude. He could be
Boudreaux.
different. It was like, well,
Yeah, that's what's up, bro. He was not different.
Jesus, man.
Because
Swerve
he
maybe.
just because he looked like Brock Lesnar, so people thought he'd be good.
Yeah, some
he
people
didn't
did
even
that,
really
yes.
though.
No, not really. He was just
No.
a large white guy. But anyway, Swerve may be the most like. He's such an example of the cliche of the overnight success that's actually been fucking doing it forever.
Mm-hmm.
He legitimately, it felt like his AEW push. He was waiting, and then in an instant, it was like, oh, he needs to be the champ. Like the Hangman
Yeah,
feud genuinely did that for him because it's easy to forget, dude. On maybe the second or third collision going to Forbidden Door, he just puts over Tanahashi. And it didn't feel crazy at the time for him to just lose to Tanahashi, right? And then there was the thing where we expected him to win the international title, and we've learned since the lore behind that. But he went from a guy that we were going, need more swerve, to he's feuding with Hangman. Oh shit, he's about to win the world title. Like, it happened overnight after so much time of building that in his whole career of many, many years. So,
yeah.
Swerve and Our
It
Glory,
was-
big part of that.
I'll wrap it up by saying this.
No,
It's
go
the
for it.
perfect. It's the perfect story for Swerve. Like guy who's done it his whole life, saying, "I need to be where you're at. I deserve it more than you." It was the perfect story to tell with him to make him a main eventer.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He
If it'll-
grabbed it by the balls and said, "This is mine."
he made
this is my company.
everything.
And like that story also being like, it was fucking perfect because he was shooting when he said it at the World's End press conference or whatever. He was like, "I'm done fucking around. Like it's my time now." Like
Yep.
he was being for real, but it also fits so perfectly into his character and the story. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And it ended up being transformed for both him as making the main eventer, and then reestablishing Hangman as a guy because he was spinning his wheels for so long.
Right.
It was real transformative that era.
We'll see if Keith Lee is able to add another chapter to his AEW story. I'm beginning to become doubtful.
Yeah.
But I do think for those of us that watched it, while it will probably be lost to time, he was an important part of Swerve's story, even if I'm sure their dynamic got increasingly complicated. And I don't know where it's at now, but he was a big part of the story. And on the Acclaimed side of things, I'm going to issue with them reuniting. I think it's very unlikely they ever get back to this point. But they always had that point. Not every team experienced what they experienced that night in Chicago, dude. That was special. You know,
it's like that like 14 seed beating a 3 seed in the NCAA tournament. And it's like, oh my god, and then they get smoked afterwards. It's not quite what happens with them, but that was their one shiny moment.
They're kind of like a Loyola team. Like they made it all the way. They made it to the belts. Who knows if they'll ever get back to that point? But damn, was that Loyola run good? You know,
it's the thing that's most impressive too. That they should be very proud of. They were not like a protected act at all. Because when Bones was out, they beat Custer every week. Like that was his thing. What he does now, he was doing it then, and they get back together and they don't get like a big shove or loads of wins. They just get TV time, and they transferred that into connecting. So they should be very proud of that, regardless of what happens, in this reunion. Up next, Buster, one that I know meant a lot to you. The return of 2021, the return of CM Punk. Back in action after 7 years, in there with Darby Allin. I remember this match. I think it's become divisive because Punk has become more divisive. I think at the time people were pretty impressed by what he pulled off. But I know there is a contingent for which the significance of Punk's return, as well as the way they approach this match, lots of Bret Hart elements, no doubt, right? Which I think he wore very proudly in this thing. But Buster, this was very high for you, I know. Talk us through this here in a CM Punk Darby Allin.
Yeah, this is my number one match, just because, like, as a fan,
What's going on?
pal?
He's reacting to Caden there, not Buster's number one pick.
No, I
for anyone
know.
who didn't,
Anyways, as a fan, I'm not sure there's maybe just like his, the debut at Rampage or on Rampage. Not sure there's a more triumphant moment because, like, not only did he come back, not only did he stick it to the World Wrestling Federation and never went back on that ever, he also had a good match. He had a really good match, and while there is definitely, like, obviously the ring rust is there and whatever, it's just like the trope of, like, the old guy going in there and like showing that he can still go. That will never not speak to me as, like, a wrestling fan. So it's like, it's perfect for me. My favorite wrestler of all time.
Yeah.
Coming back after so long. I never thought he would come back because he told me he wouldn't come back. And then he also said he'd never go back there. And then he never went back there. Yeah. Really good match. I fucking love this match.
I really like it too. It's not as similar to me as it is, but I understand why it is for you. But
Yeah.
There's a few spots. I remember the finish being fucking awesome. The way they got to the finish and Darby away to the GTS. But I think the spot people most remember is Punk sitting up on the coffin drop, right? And it being this sort of like, the old fella's got some tricks up his sleeve,
The image that's, like, stuck in my head is after the match, he's on the top rope and he just screams, "I'm back." And I was like, oh my fucking God, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Like that.
And
will never leave my memory.
Punk in AEW will be a thing that is genuinely debated for the rest of the time. That first 6 months or so, dude, he was
flawless. It's flawless.
He's taken for granted how good he was considering how long he was out. It was fucking insane what he did that first run. Like, he was so locked in and everything was on point. But
Tony Khan's
it's an interesting one. And this was this was a big moment for Darby Allin, who was one of AEW's real stars. And there was even, if you're getting him ratings, do you remember that was even like a big talking point? Was Darby was a really big, like, call for quarter hours in the main event for them for a while in TNT title matches. This kind of, I think, I don't want to say legitimized because that sounds, but you know what I'm saying, right? Like, this was a big deal for him.
Well,
It
yeah,
was
because like
Punk's
CM
first
Punk
match
comes back and he like names him like
Darby Allin.
Darby
yeah.
Allin. Yeah.
There was not a
Darby-
single other person in mind for this. It was just
Yeah,
always going to be
it was
Darby in
Darby,
everyone's
yeah.
head.
Right, and there's a couple reasons. Obviously, there's like a sort of symbolic reason for that, and I think
Yes.
Punk immediately working with a guy who wasn't a conventional wrestling star
Mhm.
was important, but also just the fact that Darby's probably the safest bet. You didn't know how Punk was going to look, right? Punk ended up looking really good.
And they didn't give him someone who he'd wrestled like 10 years ago on Raw.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it
They
wasn't
gave
like a
him
nostalgia
new
thing.
guy
It
that
was-
they made from the ground up.
Yes.
He
Yeah.
has a real following in his company. And he said, give me him. And they established Darby's reputation further on into the company as the get right guy in the company. Where guys who are
Right.
kind of spinning their wheels or coming back from injuries or whatever's going on, you put him in the ring with Darby. And if they have a good match from there, which they very
Yeah.
often do, they get right back on track or get where they need to go.
Yeah, we described in LNG Productions video about Kevin Owens, him being the easy button to press whenever things go wrong, and he'll give you something good. Darby is that guy for AEW.
That was a spoiler, bro.
Hey,
Right? You just
is it a spoiler or is
It
it
was a
a
hook.
teaser?
It was
Who
a
knows?
Yeah.
Hook.
Hook.
He wasn't on the list.
True. Yeah, I'm with you. I like this match a lot. And I think the idea of like, if you're a CM Punk fan, you're probably going to like Darby Allin. I think that was cool. And
Yeah.
they obviously did some stuff teamed up like that year. But good stuff. I remember it well. I actually should rewatch that match. I think they do like the Brett Waltman stuff, right?
they did.
Will they
Yep.
do? Yeah, which that that makes sense. Awesome. Okay. In at number 7, we are going back to 2024. The main event of 2024. The violent, as Lights Out Steel Cage was the stip, right? Was they called
Yes.
it? Lights Out Steel
Yes.
Cage.
Yep.
Which got very gruesome and famously ended with the chair shot. But more memorable to me than the match, and this is part of why the match, is part of the match's memory, is the moment afterwards where Hangman, like, when he goes back to the ring and the
Oh,
crowd
yeah.
shrieks. and-
Yeah.
There's that one lady in the crowd goes, ah!
Yeah, this match is very polarizing. There are some people, they voted this number 1. There are many people who didn't have it on their ballot. This was not on my ballot. I liked this match. I did not think it was as good as the stuff they'd done previously. But it was very fucking violent. And what I will say for it is, Novi, this had a clear idea of like what it wanted to be.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And it was different to those matches.
Yeah, it fit the narrative they were trying to say with this feud. This was going to be the last you're going to see from Swerve and Hangman for a while. They were going to kill each other. It was it. There was Lights Out Steel Cage. It implies that, but it's just the way this was built. I think in the lead up to this, Hangman kind of gets him back with the house burning down, and you have that heat going in. I remember a couple spots from the match. You have the cinder block. Obviously gets posted a lot now. The syringe, which is as a motorcycle passes by quickly. It's just everything about it is violent, and that's what their feud had built to at this point. I also feel it's not my favorite in their feud. I don't think it's bad by any means. They set such a high bar with the Texas Death. It was really hard to clear that.
Yeah.
But it's good in its own merit,
For sure. Caden, I can't remember. Was you a fan of this? Because I remember in the Grin along, we were not necessarily all in until it really ramped up in terms of the violence. I remember it taking a while for us to get into it. Where was you at, Caden, on this? I can't remember.
It there are moments that I enjoy in the match. It never really got there for me. Nothing like really came together the way I wanted it to. And I honestly I wasn't shocked by that at the time either. I didn't really think that there was much that they could do that was going to hook me after the Texas Death match, and even like what they had kind of done leading up to it, just like when they were reigniting the feud throughout the summer. I just never really thought I was going to get there. So yeah, it just not necessarily for me. Not that it's a bad match or anything. I think like I can say it's still like an objectively good match. It's just I'm a little shocked at how high it is, to be honest.
You know what I'll say? You know what I'll say
Yes.
real quick?
What?
I think this match ages a lot better if you watch it now than when you were in that moment. I think it does actually suffer a little bit from how long that show was. If you watch it now, it is like, it's such a particular vibe. I think if you set yourself back to that, it does like hit a little bit harder, at least for me.
I'm not surprised it came in where it did, just because the people that liked it loved it. I just found in Texas Death the violence was so much more exciting and thrilling, whereas in this it was like blunt. I thought, which is fine. That's not my thing. Marcus, where did you stand on this compared to Texas Death?
The thing I'll say about that is all their matches matched what the characters' motivations were at the time. Because the first match was a straight up wrestling match where Swerve was just hungry and he caught Hangman in his hometown. The crowd was behind him. That was the germ of people starting to decide with Swerve because he was just cool and he was on fire. He was motivated. He had passion. And the second match, which was the Texas Death match, was where things escalated from a personal level and it felt like a violent fireworks show. And Swerve beat him again. Then you have the match in Phoenix where it's a number 1 contenders match. There's real stakes on the line here.
That match is so good.
It's really, really good. Crowds in full throat. And then it ends up in a draw. Then you get the Revolution match where Hangman fucking snipes Swerve and just taps to prevent him from winning the belt, which is so funny to me. Then you have this one. He plays a part in Swerve losing the championship at All In 2 weeks prior. He admits to stalking Hangman again. And then Hangman burns his house down. And then here, this is what I like to say about this match. One, it's not a wrestling match to me. In fact, it's not really a match at all. It's a horror film. It's Meet the Grahams. It's the perfect crescendo to a pay-per-view that I really love to call I Fucking Hate You, the musical. That's what this match was to me. And it was like, guys, are y'all really going to kill each other? Are y'all dead ass? A shoot cinder block? Like, are y'all crazy? It's like you want to like watch the whole match with your hands like on your face, like looking through your fingers. Like it was that kind of feeling. It was dark. It was spooky.
Yeah.
It was dirty, nasty, gritty. Everything you want to describe as just straight evil.
Bro, he takes that cinder block on like the center of his back. Oh my god, bro.
Yeah,
that whole show is like, it's fucking bad vibes. And then that match is like the fucking crescendo of bad vibes.
Yeah,
and I, like
intentionally bad vibes.
Yeah, intentionally bad vibes. Yeah, and it's almost like because of that, like this is a bit dramatic and maybe a little stupid, but it's kind of like performance art in a way where it's like they're not necessarily having a wrestling match, like they're just kind of like Joe said, it's just like blunt violence for some reason.
There's something to that. I agree with that, to be honest.
Yeah, like it's,
I mean,
it's more theater than it is wrestling.
After Texas Death, you couldn't just do more of that. So like, that's why I've always appreciated what they did. It's not. I'll be honest with you. This is not something I'm ever gonna like. I'm gonna rewatch that. It didn't resonate for me. But like, they couldn't just do. Let's just do more of Texas Death. Like, it had to be different. So I always appreciate that.
I think Fap is right. It's the most lights out match in AEW history.
They start off trying to decapitate each other on the edge of the cage.
Yeah.
And Swerve's like death in this is very cinematic.
It feels like watching this. I mean, again, relative and it's wrestling, all that shit. It feels like watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre because everything just feels gross.
Yeah, it's gross. And the crowd is like, especially the first 2/3. The crowd is just kind of just sitting there, which makes it more uncomfortable.
That's what I'm saying too. Like, I think when you try to do that performance art, I don't know if people were exactly expecting that. I think they were kind of expecting more of the Texas Death, but I think that's why now you go back to it.
They were expecting fucking,
in fairness,
like Death Valley Drivers.
In fairness to the crowd too, they'd literally just watched a fucking plastic bag angle, and they were just like, "Up next, main event time." Like,
the formatting.
They would just an actual murder right before that, and then it would just another one.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
you know, that's AEW pay-per-views for better or worse, often better. But there are times where you just wish they could have gone. Let's just, you know, let the lights out.
Save it. Let's save it. That's why I'm saying, like, if this kind of confuses you as a placement, I think it did it first, and as we talk through it, I feel like I need to go rewatch it again. I think this is one, like, if I had to give any that you need to rewatch again, this might be it. I think it would be very different now.
Well, we are sticking in 2024 for number 6. Pac, Will Ospreay. So, are we completely honest? I had forgotten about this match.
I forgot about that until you just said it.
But I remember it being incredible because we was watching it on the air. So like I remember it being fucking awesome, but it didn't. And I think part of it is because Pac. I mean, I don't think he was the most thrilling when he was in the Death Riders, so I think it's easy to forget this is the night he joins, right? This is the night the Death Riders happens. Speaking of joining, the Oracle of Wrestling is here. Lord Oracle, how are you?
Well, looky what we got here.
I'm good. How are you all?
We're doing good, brother. We're doing good. We're counting down our little unofficial all-out list here.
I'm glad.
I'll catch you up, Oracle. Would you like to know where we're at so far, mate?
Yes, I would. I would. Yes.
Okay, in at 15, we had Daniel Garcia and Maxwell Jacob Friedman. We had
Last year?
Yes, sir. The opener. 14, the main event of 2021, Christian and Kenny Omega. We have Eddie and Miro, 2021. In at 13, the ladder match, Bucks Lucha Bros 2019. And at 12, 11, Dark Order and Hangman versus the Elite, which I was telling the guys, you loved that match. Do you remember how much you liked that match? The Trios title match, the night of Brawl Out and all that stuff. It was like do you remember this, Oracle? You did a post about it. I can find the post if you'd like to remind you.
Please. Because I'm sure I did.
No, this was a big thing at the time. The Grinners thought it was so funny.
And
yes, the Grinners at the time thought this was very funny because you loved this match, and they were like, where did that come from? All right, let me try and find the tweet. But anyway, in the meantime, Takeshita and Omega in at 10, Swerve and Our Glory's peak. It's not peak, sorry. The Acclaim's peak, obviously Swerve and Our Glory in at 9.
So too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Punk and Darby at 8, Hangman and Swerve, The Cage at 7, and we just hit 6, Pac and Will Ospreay. And there was a little bit of surprise among our crew. Caden Lee had forgotten the match. This feels like a Caden Lee match, Caden Lee. Why had you forgotten this match, Caden Lee?
I remember quite liking it. It's when I think about All Out 2024, there are things I think about ahead of that. One of those is, funnily enough, I actually think much more about the Jack Perry Bryan Danielson match because I think of how funny that match is. This was just like, it was just a very good Pac and Will Ospreay match. And I remember at the time, it was just like, oh, it's just happening. Like, there was nothing like really that stood out about it. So yeah, I just kind of like slipped under the radar for me.
Yeah, the thing about it is, it was a show and it was a night that was incredibly violent and bloody and a lot of personal feuds and a bunch of blood feuds going on. This was a fireworks show, and you kind of forget that it happened.
I think
it was a hell of a fireworks show.
I remember it being awesome, but I think Marcus is spot on. I think it's a victim of the fact that we remember this show as the violent, hateful show, and this isn't in line with that, and so it's like almost swept aside as a result of that. I am surprised this is 6, to be completely honest, and that's not because it wasn't great, but I just... Dude, some of these other matches I have, like... Yeah.
This doesn't... It's not even close for me.
I think our guy Naylor, I think Rob had it in his 5. So, like, clearly this resonated. Chat, are you guys surprised by this? I'm intrigued, because we seem to be a little bit surprised. Novi, are you?
I'm a tad surprised, but I'm thinking back to that match and like...
It was awesome. I remember.
Fuck, man. They were like... When I think about Ospreay matches, like the Ospreay match, I think this is maybe like the one I think of, to be honest with you. And like Pac, for all that he's done, this is like one of his best performances in AEW too. Like he had a really good year this year, to be honest with you, in 2024. But it's just like, I don't know. It is that fireworks, but it's the best kind of fireworks. And I think it does stand out on a card like this. At least it did to me at the time, as being like kind of unique in that way. It was perfect for this card.
It was one of those matches where Tony Khan could not wait to book it himself because he saw that Rev Pro show in a draw. He was like, "Oh baby, this is my time." You know,
he left an opening.
Yeah, you have to fuck the Rizzler in that whole crew. They were going ape shit front row watching that. What was one particular spot?
Yeah,
the Poison Rhinos.
I can't find Rob's list, but I think this was on there. But yeah, 2 Brits in at 6. It's top 5 time, folks.
Whew.
Oracle, the lads made their guess earlier. What do you think has won this from our... We had 50 votes. What do you think is the audience's favourite all-out match ever? What do you think? Just a guess, because the lads had a few different guesses.
It's either between 2 matches. It's either going to be Danielson and Starks in the strap match, or it's going to be Lucha Bros and Young Bucks in the cage.
In the cage, yep. All right. Yeah. Similar guesses. I think, Buster, you had Mox and Orange, right? I think.
Yeah, initially I went Bryan and Starks, but I changed to Mox and Orange.
Okay.
It probably will be Bryan and Starks, though, to be honest. That's what
Well,
I think.
let's dive in to the top 5. And folks, for better or worse, it is Brawl Out time. Because on the night of those press conference happenings, CM Punk, following an electric promo in Chicago, walked in opposite Jon Moxley. They did the squash on TV. And this match, watching the perception of this match evolve has actually been really interesting. In that it feels like, at the time, a lot of people loved the match, but also most people were so distracted by all that followed that it's, you know. And I think because of the distance now, some people have had a chance to revisit. Novi, you recently rewatched this, right?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. I remember this being great. I have not watched this since it happened. So tell me about it, Novi. You recently rewatched it.
Please go rewatch this match. It was my number 2. This match is fucking incredible. The vibes going into this, like, I think people distort the vibes because of what happened after. Going in, the crowd for this is unbelievable. Like, they're obviously super behind Punk, but the way they boo Mox and Mox's work, like being the bad guy in Chicago, is like otherworldly good. And the match itself, like, Moxley just kind of beats the shit out of Punk the whole time, and Punk bleeds everywhere. He's gushing blood. And then I got recently posted, and that's what inspired me to watch the match again, was Punk hits the GTS, and then Mox bounces off the ropes, and he lands not perfectly on him because he's not a fucking idiot. He has to readjust, and he hits him with that second GTS where he's rising up. He's covered in blood, sweat dripping. The crowd is urging him on, and that's how he gets it done. It is one of my favorite finishes I've ever seen. This match is crazy good.
I think the other element that, you know, we talk Brawl Out, but the other thing that this had working against it historically is this is followed by the Big Devil angle, right, with Max. And, like, that obviously... That, more than anything else, Punk in AEW is, like, actually lost. Like, that never does anything for anyone. Almost did, but it doesn't.
Pleased to meet you. Let me introduce myself.
Very good. Oracle, here's your tweet, by the way. Here's your tweet. This is famous last words. This is after All Out, but before Brawl Out. This is what you said. King vs. Ishii, Trios Final, Tag Title Match, and Main Event were all great. The rest of the show sort of hovered everywhere else. I actually think it's the best paced AEW pay-per-view I can remember and stood out for the angles, which is something the company has badly needed. So you were pro Devil, I guess. But I'm intrigued, Oracle. Are you surprised by this being as high as 5 with all of the chaos that follows it? And do you remember this match? Yeah, go for it.
I remember thinking the match was great.
Yeah.
And also, like, I remember in the moment really thinking the match was great. And remember feeling that. I remember, like, thinking, man, this match is great. Why doesn't anybody else like it as much as I do? Even in the moment.
Yeah.
Like, even before the press conference.
Well,
It was
Punk...
And then the press conference happened, and then, like, even I sort of... I remember loving the match in the moment, but I sort of forgot about it, you know?
Well, I also think, in fairness, I think there was an increasing fatigue with babyface Punk.
Yeah.
And this was such a Chicago-centric thing, the way he promoted the match and obviously the gear. And, like, I think there was a little bit of... I think there was just a sentiment of that people wanted Moxley to beat him. And they knew he wasn't going to in Chicago, right? I think there's... Bus, did you agree there's different elements that kind of worked against it, even before Brawl Out? The match itself, by the way, let me be clear, I agree is great and it was in my top 5, but I think there are elements that make it a more complicated memory for people, right?
I think that, like, you know, the Punk promo on Dynamite before the show is really heralded as like a great CM Punk promo. And in a vacuum, I agree, but I actually think big picture and like looking at the whole story, it's like kind of tone deaf because I just think it made so much sense for Punk to turn heel in that moment, and him coming back and just playing like the hometown kid babyface was like felt very forced for me, even as like a very big Punk fan.
Right.
And I was hoping that Mox would win in that Punk would just turn heel afterwards. So yeah, the whole vibe around the match for me at least was like it was a good match. Didn't end the way that I wanted it to, which is I can say that a lot about CM Punk.
You know what the funny thing is too about that, by the way. I mentioned that Punk gets cheered at the beginning, Mox gets booed. That doesn't stay the way the whole match. Mox gets cheered throughout, and while he's making Punk bleed crazy.
Max comes out
and gets cheered.
And gets mega cheered.
He gets a mega pop, dude.
I will
mega pop.
Go to the grave of the belief that was part of Punk's demeanor when he got to that press conference.
Yes.
You'll never convince me otherwise.
Livid.
I don't think he was, because he was he thought they'd middled him as a babyface. He said that, right?
Yeah. Got more love in the city that you from.
I remember that vividly.
Let me say this, because I actually like the word tone deaf. Not so much in the. I'm just going to use this as like a. Even though this is not really to do with All Out, but it has to do with the fallout of Brawl Out.
Mm-hmm.
I actually, and I've brought this up before. I remember being like furious that Moxley won the belt over Danielson. Should have won the title in 2022.
I agree.
Correct.
Yes.
That was the biggest mistake I think they've ever made in the history of that company. Was getting Jon fucking Moxley.
Ever?
Which I actually.
It's one of them.
It's up there, bro. It's up there.
Ever?
One of the most tone deaf things they've ever done.
I agree.
I always maintain because everything that happened from Max winning it full gear, right, all the way up to the Revolution Iron Man match and the TV that was sandwiched in between, all the way up to the BCC versus Elite feud. All of that still could have happened if Bryan was the champion. And it probably actually would have made a lot more sense in a lot more places because the Regal stuff would have been a lot more logical.
Yes,
he should have won the belt. I just think they've done some stupid shit, But I'm with you. I agree. He should have won the belt, no question. Because that was like, yeah.
They've done worse things. I think. Let me be clear. I just think in terms of like mistakes that I think.
It was flat.
I still think it's one of their biggest mistakes.
In terms of pure impact, it has to be one of their worst.
I also think it impacted Max in that, like, I don't think him and Mox have a particularly good dynamic at all. And Mox seemed like he didn't seem thrilled by where he was headed with the belt, which was an issue for that whole thing. But
to me, they could have easily done an extended Max and Danielson program where Max screwed over Danielson with the Regal stuff still, and they could still have had the 60-minute classic.
Yeah.
They still could have done that.
I agree. It is funny, Buster kind of reminded me, I'd forgotten about that. Like, there are about 8 different points in Punk's run where people were online going, you don't get it. He's turning heel. And he was like, he was never actually turning heel. It's just a thing people would say every fucking time he worked the program. That's just what
I was full blown fucking tranquilo, like on Twitter being like, listen guys, you don't understand?
Yeah.
Give it time.
I remember.
No, he's just shoot disturbed, guys.
And like genuinely, that's one thing that I would. When people talk about his WWE promos and they say, he's like he comes across like an insincere babyface. He never did that in AEW. I'm like, do you guys remember? People thought he was doing a bit in AEW. He used to come out, and I love Punk's run, but he would come out and do promos, and he'd be like, "How great is AEW, huh?" And people would go, "It's a bit." Let it play out. He's going to reveal his true colors.
This is an issue with AEW's audience being pretty cynical because they did the same thing to Cody when he was just trying to be like a legitimate babyface.
I think 2 things could be true. Yes, I also think Cody and Punk are
2 specific examples of like
a little ill.
They're trying too hard.
There's a third.
Yes,
there's a third dragon in here. That Adam Copeland, remember he did it, bro. It got scary there.
Okay,
that's different because I don't think we thought he was turning heel. I think we just all thought that he was shit.
Those are
He's
the
just a corny old man doing dub good.
I think Cope is pretty corny.
There's 3 sides of this. How this happens? It's Cope, it's Punk, and then I'm forgetting the name, but it's the other one.
Cody.
3 sides of the same thing.
Is Cope the dragon that's like,
So here's the thing. Punk is a very good...
yes, very much so.
Punk is an all-timer in terms of being like an authentic promo.
Yeah.
It's just, as a babyface, when he goes in that direction, he can be kind of corny.
I think
Cody is just very performative. Yeah.
I think with Punk, it's also because the reporting at the time that we were also terminally, or we still are, but like terminally online and like reading all the Fightful reports.
Every promo at that time was terminally online.
Hates this place. So when we got on Dynamite and he was like, "This place is awesome, huh, guys?" We were like, "Okay, bro, cool."
Well, to be fair though, Buster, that's that reporting happened after he did the thing where he was like, Hangman Page, where you at? And he sat.
Right, but then
that's
he was
when-
still doing those kinds of promos
Well, of
even
course,
after
yeah,
that.
but
though.
I remember that because the Grim was a weekly then. And,
Yes.
like, it was the first run. Bro, and I remember
I was around then.
with respect and love, like, people were full on conspiracy theorists, like
Me?
this whole thing. Yeah, I get it. But I was very aware at that point it was not. I remember with Double or Nothing, us all being like, this Hangman thing is kind of weird, huh?
Yeah.
And people were like, on Sunday, Punk turns heel, and everything changes, and it was like, no,
I
man,
was-
I don't think it's happening.
Nope.
Yeah.
I was convinced Punk was turning heel to win the title. I thought it
I
made
sure
yeah,
so much
everyone
sense.
was. It's just,
I was too, bro.
I'm glad we're having this conversation because CM Punk has 2 all-out matches. They both cracked the top 10. But we all have so many conflicting feelings, even as like some of us are big Punk fans, but you can't help but have conflicting feelings. Right? That's the CM Punk experience. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
Yeah, both those matches cracked the top 10. I don't think I actually particularly liked either one of them that much.
Yeah, and that's Punk's. Punk's thing is different. And I know. Look, not a spoiler. Obviously, at some point in the next 4 matches, Bucks Lucha Bros cage match is going to come up.
Mhm.
I know that match. Like, there are some people that fucking hate that match, and there are people that's their favorite match in promotion history. Right.
Yeah.
The thing that made the Elite Punk beef so perfect for discourse is they are the opposite ends of that scale and spectrum
Yeah.
artistically. Like,
Yeah.
which, if it was, I mean, Punk and Moxley obviously did have their own thing, but their fan base overlaps far more.
Yes.
Whereas
much more,
Elite
yeah.
versus Punk became the thing, even though Punk and Moxley had their thing, right? Because of that. So, anyway.
I blame Ibu for all this for that Omega Crat and Punk Lincoln tweet. I blame him.
Dude, there's a lot you can
Well,
blame Ibu
yeah.
for, to be fair. A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a
whole
weird
lot.
guy.
He's a bad
Um,
guy, man. I'm telling you.
Bad guy.
Not a good person.
Ian,
Remember that
Children,
time he
by the way.
tweeted? He was talking about the WWF audience, and he was mad at them for not liking Miro, and he said, "Bow down to your redeemer."
Yeah.
Remember that one time he booed the child on stream? Remember that?
He did do that.
I do remember that, yeah.
Do you remember
Was I there for that,
one
Marcus?
time, bro?
I think you were. It was me and AO doing a 2-man, and then my brother came on. We're talking about his favorite wrestlers in AW. He named Luchasaurus, and then Ibu popped
That's
up saying,
right.
he fucking sucks.
I think I was there when your brother came back. I think is what.
Yeah,
happened. Yeah. Noville
Love that
Supper.
kid.
I'm just thinking about that time you wore the AEW cap. That's all.
That was crazy.
One of the craziest decisions he's ever
Like,
made.
why would you do
So-
this out in the wild?
The great 6-star.
My
Been a
God.
member for a full
My
year.
God.
And simply says 6-star. Full
I agree.
Cal
Dude,
responds 6-star.
agree.
Thank you, 6. We're having a great Friday night. Right. We're falling into the top 5. Number 4. This made my list. Last year again. My
Oh, yeah.
favorite match on last year's show. Kris Statlander, Willow Nightingale. On
Yes.
a show where matches reveled in their gore and went expansive and big, this achieved so much in pretty modest runtime by comparison. Memorable moments with the tax. I wish we could talk about this match through the lens of like this changed both of their careers and runs in AEW.
Yeah.
We cannot. But in its own way, and I don't mean this is a compliment to creative at all, but in its own way, that almost increases the match's stature in my mind because it's like, that's what these two can fucking do when they're given, the ball, right? Because we talked about a lot, Oracle, you and I at the time. They did not actually have natural chemistry. They were just not going to foul that night in Chicago, right?
Yeah, they're. I remember because we did a grid along for this show.
Yeah.
and we're talking about how we were all pretty. We were confident this would be really good and deliver. We were also had our concerns because all their sort of straight laced matches were very sloppy, by the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't seem to connect very well with one another.
Yep.
But this match, they just. I think we screamed and laughed a lot for the.
We
20
did.
minutes
Yeah.
that this happened.
And-
This is one of the matches I remember of the year or so of rent-alongs that we've done.
Mm-hmm.
Being probably one of the 5 or 6 most fun we've ever.
I agree.
Yeah, we loved it.
And I'm pretty sure if you go to our channel, you go videos, which there's not going to be a lot on this because we did, obviously everything's live. I think we uploaded that Grin Along reaction separately.
You did.
I think, yeah.
We did, yes.
So, because I remember Oracle, there's one moment I've got clipped on my phone where Oracle, I think it's when They like a spear off the ramp, and Oracle literally just goes, "Oh my fucking god!"
I remember specifically, like, there's 2 moments on this All Out where I'm like truly concerned for our talent's health. The fucking steel chair in the main event, and then in this match when Kris does the swanton off the top rope to the outside to the table, and Willow moves.
Yeah,
Willow still clips with her legs, and Willow like
Oh,
fucking
bro.
eats the fucking mat.
Yeah.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
this match is so fucking cool, dude.
It really
Like,
is, dude.
It got a lot of
Like, they
one
just
seed
threw themselves
votes,
at it.
and it wasn't my one, but it was close. I entirely get it. This match is
Yeah.
so cool. Both women are awesome. They overcame that kind of clunkiness going in. Caden Lee, you was watching this with us. This was awesome, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is my number 5. But a potential hot take on this.
Oh no.
I actually think I prefer this to the Mariah and Tony match from Revolution this year. I love everything that they did.
It's not hot
Something
take.
crazy.
I think it just kind of it's just what I prefer. It comes together in a way that just works very well for me. Whereas I didn't like the main event didn't really get there the way I wanted it to. And I actually think part of the reason why I struggle with the main event is because of how much I love what Willow and Kris do. And you mentioned that their matches before this weren't necessarily anything to write home about. And so I was a little concerned, and I probably shouldn't have been, knowing how they've done in their street fights before this, because they've had really good street fights on Collision and Dynamite. But yeah, they knocked it out of the park. And they were kind of like I think if I remember correctly, they were also in like kind of a bad spot on the card too. They were
It
just
was
like
right after the Ospreay match.
Yeah.
yeah, it was like in the middle. It was just a really weird place to put them. And yeah, they went out there, they killed it. They did a great job, and they have like one of the more memorable spots in AEW in the last few years is Kris doing the splits right under the thumbtacks. That is something that will stick in my brain
Cassidy was
forever.
crazy.
So
Yeah.
wild, bro.
I mean,
She got a
You
new
can-
piercing that day.
you can describe you can describe blow-off matches like it's the season finale. This match is almost comical in that regard, because this is literally the end of Chris's heel run and the Stokely
Yeah.
thing, and she wins. It's like a contained story that's never followed up on. Like, let me be clear, the story between those have been followed up on, but this like version of Kris ends with her winning against Willow Nightingale.
Yeah.
And they still haven't. Let's be honest, they still haven't figured out what the fuck it looks like now, right? They still don't.
Still
know.
more to tell.
Hopefully, this time tomorrow, we'll have a clear answer on what this version of Kris Statlander is going to be. But yeah, it's a frustrating one, but we all love this match. I don't think any of us are surprised it made the top 5, right? Like,
Yeah, I know, because it was very much a match where, more than any other match in the history of AEW, it was something where the two people involved just said, we are not going to fail. We are going to be memorable. And that was a time where it was right after the Ospreay match, and that was the era where, like, anything after an Ospreay match, you're making a big mistake. You're just out there like, okay, let's do something decent and serviceable. Let's kind of get the crowd back on side. No. They fucking went for it. And I'm real proud of the effort they put in. And before their own efforts of creative and everything else surrounding it, they just went out there and said, fuck that. We're going to take this show over.
it was awesome. It was absolutely awesome. And it is time for our top 3. Top 3 AEW All Out matches on our very unofficial list that I will tweet tomorrow and never reference again. In at 3
Number 3.
was my prediction for number 1, and it came up earlier. 2021 Steel Cage AEW World Tag Team titles. Lucha Bros, Young Bucks. I thought this was going to win this deal. It was my number 2.
It's my number 1.
I have so many memories of this night. I remember us in the early days of the Grin Oracle doing like an emergency live show afterwards because of how crazy it was.
Yes.
This match, what I think is most impressive is when we were previewing the card, our feeling was, okay, they could either do a spectacle stunt show and do high spots, or they could do a bloody match, and they married those two things. And what I thought was most impressive about this match, tonally, that did not create a disconnect. They actually worked in unison, those two things. And Penta, to his credit, Penta can blow hot and cold, right? But He was fucking incredible that night. And I thought, married those two things because he's bleeding.
Such
And
a good
he's
play job, dude.
babyface theatrics. But obviously, Penta can also do the destroyers and the stuff. And this was probably the best run of the Bucks' career. This was an incredible match, Marcus. This was your expectation for number one. It was your number one. I know a lot of people in the chat at number one. Memories of this one. What an incredible match in 2021.
I took my shirt off and flew around my damn house like a helicopter. Where did Petey Papa while watching it? Like, it was the perfect culmination and the perfect ending to what was an all-time tag run for the Bucks. The Lucha Bros finally got their chance with the championships, because that was the point of the division where everyone was kind of in a logjam, where there were so many great teams where you're like, okay, when is it going to be their turn? Like the Bucks were the 4th tag champions, right?
Yes.
They had the greatest run with it. They had a cool little babyface run to start out, heel turn, boom, something just clicked.
Yeah.
It was a little theatrical for my taste, looking back on it, but something inside of them just
changed their run. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. They had like all-time barn burns with Moxley and Kingston, Double or Nothing before that. They had the elimination match with the Holy Elite, and they had a whole bunch of the shenanigans, interferences, plunder matches before that, and then we're gonna put the Lucha Bros and the Bucks in a cage, and they come up with some really crazy shit in regular stip matches, a ladder match, and how is it gonna look in a cage match, where it's essentially just a tornado tag and it's in condensed circles? They said we're gonna bleed our asses off, we're gonna be theatrical, we're gonna be emotional. All three, that triumvirate of concepts that they came up with in that match, like Penta saving Phoenix from the thumbtack shoe, the Canadian destroyers off the top rope, the fear factors off the edge of the cage, the Phoenix dive at the end, like everything was just beautiful violence, and I loved every single second of it.
This is one of the biggest triumphs in AEW history in terms of setting the stage with spectacle and presentation. Lucha Bros entrance,
godly,
which got immortalized in action figures. They actually got the figures with the whole entrance gear. It's a memorable
the greatest thing
moment.
Mikey Ruckus ever did.
Yes, which, not the longest list, but it's number one nonetheless. And the thing I remember most about this actually was the fucking like ref or someone yelling at the guys to, once the match was done, to get out because they need to move on. And Penta was like, fuck that, I'm going to go and greet my daughter here. And he waited for his daughter to come through, and he was covered in blood. I remember that vividly, and I do wonder if the ranking of this was hurt by the Lucha Bros not only not being in AEW, but like, the Lucha Bros are not a team right now. And Phoenix stature, I know he had a match last week that got a lot of love, but obviously he's not like red hot, right? So
I was going to try to give my reasoning for why this match may have fallen to 3. The main reason is Ray Phoenix. I'm kidding. Let me be clear.
Hold on.
Joe won't pay me if I don't do my bit, so I have to get that.
Yes, Ray Phoenix, 2021
anyway,
Oracle.
No, seriously, the actual reason I think is what Joe mentioned is I think
Yeah.
we're so far away from this match now, like 4 years. I think part of it is just we've had so many like classic AEW matches that this match is one of those matches from the first 2 years of the company that's kind of fallen by the wayside because of,
people. And it's still at 3, but I think it would have won with a bullet if we did this a year ago. I think the other issues is like the Lucha Bros reign was not where it could have been.
No.
Coming out of this match, dude, and this is what kind of annoys me when people say like, because I don't think Penta's run's perfect, but when he does these crossover things, but who knew Penta could have done this? It's like fucking everyone. Like, he's one of the coolest. Look,
he's been doing this for years, guy.
Right? Like Penta has his faults as a worker, but he's one of the coolest looking wrestlers like ever, dude. He's super marketable. I remember us on that Grin talking about like they can be crossover attractions for them. I think, and it just never came to fruition. But the match is great. Buster, where are you at on this? Was this about right for you? What do you think?
I think of the 2 matches we have left, presumably, it's probably where I would place this match. It's obviously fucking incredible. I think it's like at the time I wasn't super familiar with like either team, to be honest. Like I had seen their stuff
Really?
in AEW, but I had not like I didn't really start watching like that era of indie stuff again until like 2023 when AEW was bad. So like I didn't realize that it was like they were capable of this, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I don't remember why I didn't watch All Out 2019 with the ladder match, but I hadn't up to that point. I did go back and watch it after this. So it was kind of a moment where I was like, holy fuck. Like,
Yeah, and in your defense, the TV build for this was non-existent. The
yeah.
Bucks were all over the TV as alongside Kenny, but the TV build for this was just like they won a tournament. Giannis was there for one of the matches.
Yeah.
Like, there wasn't, because that's the thing. Sometimes you remember these classic matches and you presume there was some big epic. Like it was literally just we knew they had history and they were gonna have a great match, but there wasn't the level of drama this had was kind of unforeseen. I think.
Right. Yeah.
That's
it was
kind
kinda
of
like,
that's
Yeah.
good,
It
Marcus.
was like it was kind of like what they tried to do, where it was the Bucks had like interferences in like pretty much every single match they had up to that point. So they said like we're just gonna lock them in a cage, and whoever won that just got it. As well, it was that era where like things in Tony's head when he explained it worked out better than when they actually put on TV. And that's kind of what ended up happening.
It's kind of like the point in Hangman and Swerve's feud when it starts to Wrestle Dream is really good, but Wrestle Dream to Full Gear actually isn't that great. Like there's the escalation in terms of drama isn't that crazy, to be honest.
Yeah.
And the Texas Death Match comes up, so everyone thinks that it's like this big thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that for the Bucks and Lucha
Right.
Bros, where it's like
And
everyone thinks that it's this big thing when really it's just kind of this one match that made it that way.
And the match's biggest, positive, I think, from a heat point of view, is the result was not. This was not one of those title changes where it was like, well, obviously they're going to win the straps. It wasn't that at all. It was like maybe the Bucks were in great form and the build wasn't expansive. Before we get into the final two, firstly, folks, smash the like button. Novi, what do you think? Free, fair, unfair? What do you think?
Of the three we have left, I'm with Bus. This is probably where I'd put it. I also don't have it on my top five, and that's mostly because like I get so captured in the feelings of matches, like the builds and stuff like that. And I think our last two remaining ones, there's just so much feeling and emotion behind them that I think it kind of usurps it for me. But I can still like say this match is incredible. In terms of like tag team wrestling in AEW, it's hard to not see this as like 1-2, maybe even it's in that top three of like, I need it to be this again, please.
Yeah.
I'm desperate.
Yes, indeed. Okay. It's time for our top two. I think it's more fun if we jump ahead so there's a doubt, or should I just go through them 2-1?
Just go 2-1.
Because we know what they are.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you might as well go through it.
You sure?
Yeah.
Nova, you said?
I'm positive, bro. Let's just do it, bro.
We're, of course, headed back to 2023. I was there for both of these. And I am slightly surprised at the outcome. In it too, the strap match. Bryan Danielson,
What do I win?
Ricky Starks, and that does mean, of course, Buster was right. Orange Cassidy, Jon Moxley. We'll get to that in a moment. But let's start with the strap match. This was my number one. Caden Lee, you okay?
Uh-oh.
I will be using my shitty camera mic.
It's not that bad.
God.
No, this is what it's gonna be for tonight and probably for the All Out stream tomorrow because I don't have time to go tomorrow.
Look at this fucking loser, y'all.
He's a
Exactly.
good guy. He's a good guy. All right,
Try his
Caden,
best.
thank you.
Is he though?
He's a good guy. Bryan Danielson and Ricky Starks strap match. This was my number one. This is one of the best matches I've ever seen live. Fuck. This whole thing, this is the encapsulation of what that show was in the sense that this felt like a cursed show.
Yeah.
And the main event was obviously supposed to be Punk and Ricky in the strap, which I'm sure it would have been good. They didn't have a ton of chemistry, but like Willow and Kris, it would have had a
Never
stick.
gonna be this.
It was never going to be this good, dude.
No
And
way.
I don't think that's an insult to anyone. Like that's this is astonishingly great. I have seen people suggest historically that this is like Bryan had a good match with a strap.
No.
And it's like, dude,
Grow up.
rewatch this match. Ricky Starks is fucking incredible in
Yeah,
this
bro.
match.
Yep.
He's incredible in this, dude. Seriously,
really
he's
is.
so
He's-
good in this match. He's incredible in it. You know,
He's
this
a good
was
body.
his.
Did his thing.
This was his. this was his, his greatest hit, his magnum opus, right? And I don't know if he's ever going to top it, regardless of what he does in WWE. So many memories. Novi, where did this come in for you? This was my 1 seed, personally.
This is my 3.
Yeah.
But like, fuck, man. I remember at the time feeling like that cursed vibe, and it was like, what is this show going to look like? Because it was that first kind of time where All In happened in Wembley. I think this is first year, if I'm correct. I don't want to get that misconstrued,
Yes,
right?
the week before.
Happens in Wembley, and everyone was like, how are they doing pay-per-views back to back? That doesn't make any sense. And yet, all the talent go out there in Chicago and they say, we're going to make this fucking great. And no one does that better than Bryan Danielson and Ricky Starks. Bryan is returning from injury in this match. This is his first match back for a minute. And he comes back and delivers an all-time performance. I still will have it play in my head every time I think of this show. The smack of the strap in the corner for the first time. Yeah. It's something else. And we mentioned Ricky Starks. Man, Ricky is fucking incredible. Selling, his bumping, the way he kind of like, he begs off all the time. He's fiery. The Chicago crowd kind of gets with him a little bit. It's something else. This match is one of the best AEW has ever done. And I know it doesn't have like the pomp and circumstance of a world title or like a Swerve Hangman feud, but you think of the moment this was in, you set yourself back in that timeline, you can't help but get swept up in it all.
It had no build, right? It was announced the night before. And the Ricky's selling the finish is like his best work as a pro wrestler ever. Dude, we were pretty close. They were fucking whacking each other, dude. It was physical as hell.
Bro, I got chills reading that Orange Cat message where Danielson's screaming like, are you gonna take it? Are you gonna fucking fight? Oh my God.
So direct with the step. Like they just fucking whacked each other over and over again. And man, Bryan you could tell he was excited about this in the sense of like testing Ricky. And I think he was, there's that famous photo where he's like yelling at Ricky backstage. Have you guys seen that? And it was incredible. Oracle, I remember like texting a little bit with you, but this was something live, and I think it came through at home, right?
Oh yeah, this was so I was visiting my folks in Chattanooga, and I missed the show live. So I came home that evening, and funny thing is, my parents and my brother Dylan watched the show because I had ordered it, and I was like, yeah, you guys can watch it on my on my account or whatever. And they did, and I watched the replay later. And I always like the story. My mom loves this match, or like loved it at the time. She probably don't remember it, but she was like popping huge because of like the strap shot. She was like, "Oh my God, these."
It's gnarly, right?
About, like these boys are whipping each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is man, this match is amazing. Like I think I probably prefer this match to the number one.
Yeah.
And I'll talk about what my biggest issue with the number one is. Fuck Jon Moxley again. But this match is like this and the Max match. I think are my favorite Danielson matches from his AEW run. This is kind of a. I don't know. This is
happening,
like
brother.
This is the sort of violent, sort of crazy Bryan Danielson that we've kind of ever rarely gotten. I mean, like he can do it. We got a little bit in that with the Hangman Page feud, but this was like the best we ever got from him in AEW about that, and that was
he gets the juice he gets in this is unbelievable.
Oh my God, it's incredible,
bro,
man! Like,
it's so good.
It's one of the more like just it feels very old school. There's something very old school about it too. It feels like something that you would see like Wahoo McDaniel fucking do in a strap match in like the 70s or 80s. It's just that there's something about that like put it over the top even for me. Just that kind of old school vibe to it, especially with Ricky Steamboat being involved and all that stuff. Yes,
indeed. Marcus, I'm going to presume by your reaction that yours was not in your top 5. Am I right in guessing that?
It's close. I will say that.
Yeah.
It's like very, very close.
Oh yeah.
This is the match that really showed me the greatness of Bryan Danielson, where it was the American Dragon, Ricky the Dragon, How to Train Your Pet Dragon, bro. It don't matter, bro. He don't need an arm. He has a broken arm. And he's in a strap match, which I have a really complicated history with that type of stipulation or the variants of it, because it can get really, really hokey in the wrong hands.
It can, yeah.
This was basically just, we're tied at the hip. We're just gonna beat the dog shit out of each other with this strap and utilize it to the best of our ability. And the Ricky Steamboat stuff was really cool. I really do appreciate Tony bringing him in for that, and him being involved in angles with Ricky leading up to this. They just beat the shit out of each other and bled buckets all over the place, and it was really perfect for the environment. It was visceral. It was nasty, and the finish where he just choked Ricky the fuck out until he couldn't go anymore. It was like, oh my god, it was so jarring. And they tried their best to top it with the Texas Death Match on Collision a little while later, which was very good in its own right.
Right.
But this was
didn't have the same atmosphere, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but this was Bryan's finest hour in AEW to me. Because this really showed his greatness, because it was really terrible circumstances with Punk getting shit canned like the week before. Or the week of, really.
The weekend, yeah.
You did nothing wrong.
And then the weird okay. He did his thing. But nah, the real world title shit with Ricky and then the Owen stuff, I fucking hated that stuff. It wasn't great to me at all.
It's genius.
Bryan just going in and doing his thing. It showed his greatness.
Yeah.
And Ricky, his motivation was powerful. He had that promo the night before where he basically just was like, "Will anything go the way I want it to go?" Right? Like it was supposed to be his weekend.
No, it won't.
Punk. and look, I think, to be honest, the best thing I can say about this match is it came in at number 2. And considering what the Ricky Starks story has been since, and I'll say, I don't think, I think a lot of it's stuff that is surrounding incompetence, especially with this Derby run. I think, without getting into it, derailing the conversation, I think it's fucking insane they didn't do the Jericho thing with him and make a huge deal of him on the main roster, but I don't know, bro. I mean, that's their thing. But considering where he's at right now and what's been the last 2 years for him, this being in at number 2 tells you a lot about how great it was. Because Peel could very easily just discarded this because it didn't lead to anything, right?
Yeah.
Astonishing match. Caden Lee, any faults on our 2 seed here?
This match is very special for me, as it is the first time I got to listen to the final countdown in person. And I'm not afraid to admit that I cried. I have a video of me screaming and crying.
Hell yeah.
Understandable.
Heard the lyrics. The entire thing, it's very funny because Saturday, whenever Punk up, I was with my friend, and Punk gets fired. And as we're on the way to the venue, I'm wondering, okay, who's Tony going to pick to face Ricky? And I accurately called. I go, well, I said, they're going to do the gimmick where they're going to say that Steamboat's wrestling him and say, well, it said Dragon on the contract, but it said the other Dragon. That's exactly what they did. And it fucking ruled. This match is awesome. It's just, it's a very special one for me.
Yes.
Yeah, being there in person.
Yep. Yeah. So, Karen, what are you saying? Sorry. We were both there. Yeah.
Yeah, we were both
Bryan
there.
Danielson,
That night was when I saw Joe for the first time, and I was a little disappointed in his build.
Yeah,
Well,
disappointed in my build.
I was not disappointed in the build for this match. The 24 hours, great build.
Yes, indeed.
Bryan Danielson don't need an arm. He don't need an eye. He may need a brain sometimes, but just strap him in the ring and he's going to do some crazy shit.
Did you just call Joe fat? Hold on. What just happened?
He did. What was it you were trying to say at the time? You were like...
I said I was disappointed in the build for All Out 2023.
Yeah.
And I think someone in the chat, or it was you, just went, wait, you were disappointed in my build?
You were like, I saw you disappointed in the build or something like that. And it was like, what the fuck? What? Anyway.
He's called him fat? Like, what the fuck? Fire him and give him my check.
I will say this is probably my number one. Like, in terms of live wrestling experience, this is up there. Maybe not my number one, but watching this with Alex was really, really cool. And I think that was something I will cherish forever. In at 1, Jon Moxley, Orange Cassidy. This is another one, and I think this is where Oracle's going to go. I could be wrong. Where I wish this led to something different for Orange Cassidy, but that's fantasy booking.
That's part of it, even more so than Moxley beating him. But continue, Joe. Yeah.
Yeah. let's go to that first, Oracle, because then we'll talk about the match. But let's actually start with that, because like I think this match is incredible.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah.
But I felt Orange either should have won, or if he was going to lose, he should have graduated to like the world title.
Yeah.
Alex always says it. He's like, Max versus Orange Cassidy felt like the thing to do here.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of did neither in the sense Moxley beats him, but then they go back to Orange as the international champ, right? Oracle, which is your beef, I think, right?
Yeah, like they do it, and then like he loses to Ray Phoenix. I think is who Mox loses to.
Well, that
Yeah.
was the concussion thing, right? But then he
Correct,
still loses
that's
it back
right,
to
that's
him.
right,
He
yeah.
loses back to him right away anyway, so yeah.
Right, yeah, and then like OC faces him again at Full Gear and squashes him, which I thought was an interesting like booking decision. I kind of liked it at the time, but by that point, OC was already washed. Like they had like this was like
As
the
a
peak of Orange
act,
because
yeah.
if you watch like WWE AEW TV from January through August of 2023, Orange Cassidy's the best worker in the whole company on TV. He's having all
Yes.
these great matches, international matches on TV every week, with a variety of opponents, and they built this match up. They had the Anarchy in the Arena matches. Joe often corrects me, or no, Stadium Stampede. I'm sorry, Stadium Stampede. at all in that I love.
Yeah.
And best friends win that match if I'm not mistaken. And
Yes.
they have this big singles match, and it felt like, okay, Orange is going to win this, and they're gonna he's going to just be skyrocketed even more. And this was the end of Orange Cassidy in a lot of ways, even though he had that sort of. He kind of got his heat back a little bit in the Full Gear match, because I think he squashes Mox, and then Mox takes time off or does something else or something after at Full Gear. But yeah, this was like the whole match is amazing. It's a bloodbath. It's incredible. It's a perfect like bully versus underdog, like babyface. One of the best version of that they've ever done in the company.
Yeah.
Just an amazing match. It's just I was so bummed that Moxley won, and then OC just got put on the shelf, and then he just sort of circled back around to him, and they tried to do the international title run again with him, and
so
and the
bad.
matches just
It was
were
diminishing
not
returns.
It's
intriguing, and then the whole booking of it was like
yeah.
negative interesting. It was not like
The one thing I would say most captures it is we all think Orange is great.
yeah.
He's been gone now for a while, right? Like,
It's a long time. He's coming up on a year.
It's top of the year, yeah.
and genuinely, I had so much OC fatigue by the time he got injured.
bro.
I still am not like, oh my fucking god, I can't wait to see. And I say that I think the world of him as a worker.
Mhm.
But I saw so many international title defenses that I genuinely still am not at a point where I'm like missing him.
I'm
Yeah.
going back to fucking Fire Ant, bro. Fuck it.
That was, dude, that when we were reviewing
Hold on.
Dynamite Weekly, Caden Lee, our 1 seed. For all that said, great match, obviously. Caden, how do you feel about this being our list topper here? What do you think?
Yeah, this was my number 3 on my list. I think that this is spectacular. I'm a little shocked by it being this high. I thought with our audience specifically, it would end up around like 3 or 4. But yeah, I think it is Orange's. It's proof that Orange can do something that a lot of people have criticized him for, which is like being in the ring and being able to tell a very good psychological story. Because what they do, and like, yes, there's a lot of violence in it. There's no stipulation on it. So like when you think about when you look at the pictures towards the end and how bloodied both of these men are, typically Orange is bleeding buckets. You would think, okay, they did something here, because All Out's also known for having stip matches to an extent. No, nothing. There was nothing here. They just beat the shit out of each other. It is awesome. It is brutal. It is. I think it's like both of these men working at this damn cat. Both of these men working at like the peak of their powers. And Orange proved that he should have been put in a main event slot that he didn't necessarily get after this. Okay, I'll go take
10 to Moxley, Caden.
Yeah.
What kind of terrorist?
Terrorist cat, dude. Yeah.
This dude,
Nobody said something
dude,
similar about Mox
every
a couple
time we're
months
on
ago.
the show, this guy is being
This
violently
guy.
Christ.
Yeah, I think he may have beat it in Texas this year, but this still might be the performance of Moxley's career. I think, to be honest.
I think as a whole performance, I think I might prefer this match, but like a singular moment, Moxley getting choked is like maybe the best moment in the history of professional wrestling.
When I rewatched All In the main event, I thought this was better, personally.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're both great. Jon Moxley.
Mox is so fucking good at All In.
He's great about it. I mean, you're picking between two.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you were there at All Out. I was there at All In. The difference maker. I mean, it's
well,
like All In. It was so visual because he was the violent boogeyman for like the several months of TV.
Yeah.
And then again, he put that chain
you
around his
were
neck. He looked like the pussy that he actually was, and he just choked out and looked like a helpless victim.
What makes this more impressive to me is he doesn't have that backing here. This match is like they sort of just strolled to this match.
Like
it was one man
is also fantastic at All In.
That's the thing. Like, I guess look, he's incredible All In, but All In, because of the way the year unfolded, people were legitimately desperate for that result. Whereas with this was like, look, people can pretend this wasn't the case. I was there and I remember the talk. People were like, man, that's really the main event, huh? Like, they're just going to do an international title match, the main event pay-per-view.
Yeah.
This was not like a hot thing going in.
Yeah.
It was a thing that was just, they were going to do it.
I will say, I think...
You know, he transformed the setting with his performance as a heel in this, dude. He was
it felt like I was watching a boxing match. I was watching fucking Terrence Crawford beat the shit out of somebody at 140.
Dude, it had a big fight feel. Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah.
I think leading up to Orange Cassidy's promo on the go home, I was that way. Yeah. But once Orange Cassidy cut that promo, yes. When he says, like, for some reason, it always takes me my name's Orange Cassidy, I don't have a catchphrase.
Yeah.
For some reason, that line of the promo has always stuck with me as like,
oh yeah, I agree.
It's
fucking incredible. Yeah. And then Mox comes out and they had the face to face. It's fantastic.
Right.
I do believe in you, Orange.
Yeah, they definitely. I mean, they built it best they could in a week, right? Fuck.
Yeah.
Like, so, yeah.
It's pretty goddamn good. I ain't gonna lie.
Because everyone's talked about the match and how fucking awesome it is, and it's fantastic. It's a great match. This point in AEW is really interesting to me because, like, generally the TV's not very good. Max is the champion, and it's really bad. No offense, sorry, don't call me an incel. But
tell you the truth,
because it's so shit, and he's also really beat up. The mid card titles have like increased importance, and they're main eventing pay per views.
Yes.
So this main event's here, and then the TNT title main event's at Wrestle Dream.
Is that
the next month?
Are they the only two examples of that in the history of the company? Or
I think so, and I fucking love both of those matches with all of my heart. Christian and Darby is
that match is incredible.
Unbelievable match.
Awesome.
Incredible match.
So
I like that match more than this one, and I think this match is fucking incredible.
They're
That's how
really
good it is.
close.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know which one I prefer, but they're very close.
I need to watch them back. To, like, that's how
Yeah.
close it is, you know? Nitpick.
That match is awesome. So the Wrestle Dream show was weird because I remember I was house sitting for my brother and stuff because he was on vacation, and I fell asleep during Danielson and Zack Sabre Jr. And I was like, oh man, I was like, I really want to watch this Christian Darby match. So I was like up and I was like, all right, let's see. And I think the Cope rumors had already kind of circulated by that point.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Yeah,
I
it
knew
was-
this, I knew he's gonna be there.
That return is great.
So
it was really good. It was a good.
Like,
that match, I was
Debut,
like,
sorry.
by the end of that match, I was like wide awake again. I was like, oh shit, like the fucking,
Yeah.
the frog splash onto the stretcher, right? And that what it was?
Mhm.
Oh my, bro,
That,
the way
and
he
then,
like
like, he-
flips off, he like whips off
Yeah.
the stretcher. Oh
and
my
then, like,
god.
he drops him onto the steps from the apron.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
insanity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bro.
The one that deserves love that no one remembers is the prequel to that when they wrestle on TV.
So
Darby and
good,
Christian
dude.
have a TV
Yeah,
main event.
great.
They put like 20 minutes in.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome wrestling.
What was
That's
it? They did a
Collision,
spot where like Darby flies off
Yeah.
the ropes or some shit. in
Yeah,
that match.
there's
It's so good.
there is a stretch that
That
I
was
think
the
will
last-
be.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Joe.
No,
And
go,
I
Brett.
want to say because hopefully we get some good stuff tomorrow, but you know that match is going to go 15 minutes. That's going to open the show, but we'll see. To me, that like fall 2023 Christian Cage
Yeah.
run is the last like
Oh, bro, he was
Christian Cage that I
peak.
love.
Yeah.
He was
arguably the
the
best he's ever been,
so
to be
great,
honest.
man.
But
Yes,
He,
and actually
he was
carried
kind
the
of
time.
he was kind of like the main guy for a minute there on the TV.
was.
Because
He was the
Yeah.
main guy.
He was
He
serving
do you
was.
remember the TV main he has with Bryan?
Oh,
Yeah.
Collision?
really
Incredible.
fucking good.
Incredible match.
He was
So
everything.
yeah, I like the mid card title take. Novi, is there anything you want to add for this our 1 seed here, Mox and Orange?
Yeah, this is the consensus 1 seed. It's my personal 1 seed. There's a lot to be said about the way this is followed up. Obviously, you wish this would have transitioned to a world title program for Orange. I feel like this was kind of like that. I really did like Mox winning because I thought that's what it was going to be. And I liked Mox having a mid-card belt, but that obviously it got crazy for a minute there. But just the match itself, like the vibes in the building, this was like the peak of holy shit, is AEW back right now? Is it can they ride this wave of momentum, just because these are two like AEW guys to me, like from the beginning they've been like center points of the TV, of the stories, and to see them like on this stage wrestling for like a mid-card championship was a big deal at the time. It was a huge talking point. Just like see them wrestle a match like this, and Orange being the one to bleed and not Mox, and some of the spots where Orange is just desperate to run away. He's desperate to prove himself. It's a really special experience. I'm so vividly remember being in the moment for.
That near fall where after the first paradigm shift, where it was probably one of Excalibur's best calls. Like, we have a new international champion. Oh no, we do not. And I was like, oh my god, and the crowd went nuts.
Oh,
Orange
the crowd
Cassidy
was
dead on his feet.
Well, I mean, Orange Cassidy has really been a great kind of litmus test in the sense that you don't have to like any wrestler, but often there are criticisms sent his way that are like entirely at odds with what he actually is as a wrestler.
Yeah.
Like,
Law and Order wrestler.
he's genuinely one of the more kind of thoughtful wrestlers psychologically in the whole fucking promotion. Like, I'll be clear, I do think there are elements to his work that I'm not fond of, and I wish some of his stuff looked better. And that was something that I thought when he wrestled people that weren't Jon Moxley, that were the great thing about Jon Moxley in his matches, he makes Orange earn it, and he only sells for shit that looks like she should sell for, you know? Against lesser guys, that was an issue, I thought, in Orange's title matches, but psychologically, his stuff's always fucking good, dude. It always makes sense. He's always got great ideas. He's awesome, and he's incredible in this match, and I think it's a fair winner. It wasn't my 1 seed, but it's one I have no issue with at all. I mean, I don't think anyone would, and I think that's why it won. Is there are the other matches, there are people that are detractors. I don't think anyone's a detractor of this match. I think everyone's like, yeah, man, it's fucking great, right?
Yeah.
So
if you don't have this at the top of your list, there's a good chance you have it like 4 or 5, and just
Exactly.
the raw numbers kind of build it up to get to that point.
exactly that. I have a couple final questions here. This has been really fun. Actually, really got me in the mood for tomorrow's show.
Yeah, me too.
Final couple questions. What is the number 1 AEW All Out pay-per-view so far? Is it as simple as 2021, do we think? Or is there a...
I don't know, man. I think in terms of like matches,
I think it's
and, like
2023
show
too.
quality, it's 2023.
I think it's
But like in the moment, 2021 is obviously
That's so...
huge.
I think it's 2023, but I was almost hesitant to lead with that because it feels like 2021's the right... You know what I'm saying? It's like...
Yeah, it's like
felt so
2021
2020, that
probably
doesn't
means
suck.
the most to the company's history, and like to
Yeah.
fans. It probably brought people in, but I think 2023 as a show
It's a better show.
is a better show.
It was just it was after All In, like the vibes
Yeah.
coming out of that show.
And it's
this
also
was just
like-
whoa, man, we needed this, you know?
like CM Punk being fired and then them having that show.
Yes.
Dude, I
Yeah.
think there was such an appetite for like them to really push back at that time, and I think it's a shame that the TV didn't sustain it because I remember that night
Yeah.
people were like, that was a statement show,
Yeah.
and it didn't. By the time we get to World's End, it feels like they're in more of a mess than they
Oh,
were.
yeah.
If they fuck it up, if they just do this
baby.
on TV, like keep these vibes, like push these guys, I just don't see how they don't immediately
Yeah.
fix that problem, you know?
It just the other issue was you know
It just really was
You-
heavy.
you didn't have the United Center every week, right? That crowd was so
That's
great.
true.
That
That's
crowd
true.
was elect, dude. The FTR 8-man, where it's like FTR and the Bucks versus Bullet Club Gold.
Yeah.
The crowd for that is fascinating because there's like punk debates happening in the crowd. It was kind of lightning in a bottle, right? And there was some good stuff. The C2 was the end of that year. There was some good stuff, don't get me wrong. But there was a lot of bad stuff, and it just didn't sustain that momentum.
The
But
C2 had to like fix things. That's how like weird it was, you know?
so I'm
Pretty
voting
only was
It's like
2023.
Fair
46
enough,
Dean
it's good.
Patel's wrestling show with the C2.
I'm voting 2023. Where are you guys voting best all out show? You all
23.
23? Is everyone 2024?
23.
23. 2021 was the company's finest hour, but 2023 was the best show.
Interesting. Oracle, what do you think?
Yeah, so 2023 1, 2021 2, 2024
Yeah.
3,
Yeah.
2022 4, 2020,
And then-
2019 5, and then 2026. 2020 is terrible, so that just sucked.
Yeah.
I
Um,
co-sign that list entirely.
Yeah,
I
it's-
agree with that list.
2019 is
yeah.
a better show than people remember, but it was no TV, so I get it.
Yeah, and it's just the roster's so different, right? It's
Yeah.
much thinner.
Yeah.
Are there any other matches you want to call out that didn't come out in the top 15? I know that Browsing brought up earlier Kris and Britt, which is probably Britt's best match outside of the other Kris match.
Yeah, it's a good
Um,
match.
yeah.
Very good match.
The match is really good, and it has the Orange Cassidy moment where he breaks from his usual demeanor, and he fires
Yeah.
up. That's awesome. Is there any others that come to mind?
Kenny and Pac
I
from
mean-
All in 2019.
Yes, we must know. It wouldn't have been in the top 50, but one of the greatest moments in the history of American wrestling is the 6 minutes of Samoa Joe Shane Taylor, in which Contreras and Alex thought that Joe broke his leg. Joe does a dive in that match, and he lands on his heel and falls back. And Contreras and Alex legitimately thought Samoa Joe died in front of our eyes. I was like, bro, it's fine. And Alex goes, because Alex doesn't watch AEW closely. And he's like, dude, does Joe still do the dive? I was like, yeah, pretty regularly. He was like, why? I don't know, man. He loves the business.
No,
He's doing his thing.
Yeah, they recently uploaded on Instagram that match. They did the no commentary edit for that. It is fucking hilarious because the crowd is just sitting there because it's I like Shane Taylor, but he had no TV going in, so they're just watching these fellas just whack each other, and there's sweat flying and all sorts. The best 2 and 3/4 match in wrestling history. But anyway, any other matches you want to call out, fellas?
there's a match that while I acknowledge is not good, I like to lie about a lot. Mercedes Moné and Hikaru Shida was a lot of fun for me personally. Is it good? No, but I will lie about it forever. So
Fair.
That sucks. It wasn't a good match.
Yeah.
Mox versus Kojima from 2021 is underrated.
Very fun
Man,
match.
I have no fucking recollection of this match.
It was really
Okada,
fun.
Takeshita, Briscoe, and Cassidy.
I was looking at that.
That was
I don't
good.
remember that at all, dude.
That
was
came
good.
up earlier
I
on
don't remember that at all.
WP
I
Live, and I
remember
was
that
like
one.
piecing it together in my head. One that only got a couple votes that I know some people really believe in that I never could get into and I haven't rewatched is the FTR Hangman Omega match where the guys are trying not to die because they're sweating fucking.
Yeah.
Doesn't Cash Wheeler go blind in that match because he's
It was so hot. It was 90 plus degrees. It was August in
Yeah.
Florida. It's a bloodbath
2020,
there.
right?
Yeah.
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 2020,
That show was
yeah.
a whole mess. Matt Hardy almost died, and
Tooth
Yeah,
and nail
I
match.
remember not liking
wasn't that the
match
show
very much.
with Britt versus
Big Swole.
Swole? Yeah.
That was a match where
Um,
I am very mad that Tony Khan listened to Twitter.
Yeah, that was bad. Eddie Kingston and Ishii did not get a single vote. Are we surprised they didn't get any? Again, there's 50 ballots.
I forgot
Do you
about
think
that
that's?
match. I can't lie.
Do you think that's 0 hour erasure? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is, but what the fuck has been? Okay, let's look at 0 hours.
That same 0 hour, Sammy and Ty and Ortiz and Ruby Soho, not a bad match. Not a bad match.
Is that when
Well,
Ruby's poor nose gets
Ruby almost
broken?
died.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a good match.
Yes.
Good match though.
I mentioned a minute ago the Bucks FTR team, and that was fun.
I do like that Bucks FTR match.
But that's
That-
all the stuff
that
that
almost
I had
made
on my
my list.
spreadsheet here. So yeah, I mean, I think we covered pretty much everything. And my final question: who is through 6 years the definitive AEW
Oh, this
All
match
Out
probably
wrestler?
fucking sucked.
Mr.
Dude. The
All Out?
Acclaimed versus Iron Savages, 1 1/4 from Dave.
Who is the
Christ.
definitive AEW All Out wrestler?
John Moxley.
Hmm. Mox probably.
If you look at our list, the only guy to appear twice is Moxley. He's at 5 and 1. The only guy to appear twice in the top 5. Let me be clear, the top 5.
It's,
I was gonna
He's-
say,
John
Um,
it's John Moxley.
I'm
And to
looking
be honest
here.
with you, I've been very hard on Mox, but that match with Darby tomorrow is probably going to rock. So
Well,
What a rule.
I'm just looking. I mean, if you look at our top 4, Orange Cassidy, this is his only match in the top 15 for this particular show, obviously. Bryan Danielson, his overall out matches are Jack Perry, which let me be clear, the Jack Perry match is like the fucking dude. It's way better than the Chris Jericho
Yeah,
match.
it's not that bad.
I like
at
that
all.
match quite a
The-
bit.
the
actually.
Chris
I
Jericho
remember the
match.
Jericho match.
That was
And-
tragic.
And I trust you. I'm sure the Jericho match sucks.
It's the
It
one
was.
where Chris went to the
That's what I
scrum
do, right?
afterwards. Yeah, it's when he goes to the scrum afterwards and he's like, we called it in the ring. And it's like, yeah, bro, we could tell. They just fucking walk through a match. It was so weird, that match.
That was that
match-
period
yeah,
where
that match-
Danielson was just not having good pay-per-view matches. I don't understand
was-
why.
That match
Yeah, it
went
was weird.
23 minutes, by the way. That Chris and Bryan match.
Yeah, that match is bad.
Christ.
That's right, because that
Really
was
bad.
12.2. That was right. That was the start of the Ocho.
'Cause
Ugh.
I actually liked that.
almighty.
I thought him and Jack had a good match. It was just not a match I needed to see, and it makes even less sense in hindsight because fucking what a
yeah.
waste of time.
That's his
agree.
only successful
You're
title
probably
defense.
right. You're
It was a good
probably
match. I actually liked it quite a bit, but
Man,
still.
man.
We had a lot of fun with it on the Grin Along, I remember.
What else has he done?
Yeah.
So Brian's All Out matches, it's just those
Jericho.
three, right? Chris,
Yes, 3.
Ricky.
Ricky, and then yeah, okay. So that's his only one. Ricky Starks, obviously, he's only one. The Lucha Bros, they only the one they have is with the Bucks, which is at 12. The Bucks have the 6-man with the Elite, which we discussed. But like, to be honest, Kris and Willow, unfortunately, that's their only chance to have a, Elite All Out match. It kind of is Moxley by default, right?
Yeah,
like,
just the high profile stuff is too
It's-
like heavy.
it's
Two
either-
main events, and they're
It's either
great.
Moxley or for me personally, the Bucks, because they have the ladder match, they have the cage match. I quite enjoyed the 8-man they had at 2023.
and they have the 6-man. To be fair, yeah, I see that.
And they had,
yeah,
and they had one with Claudio and Yuta last year, I believe. in a tag
that was
match.
good.
Good
Yeah, I
match.
can see that. I think because I guess the reason that would split if you went the Bucks over Moxley is because the Punk match doesn't hit like that for you, right? The Punk Moxley match, because that's a big part of Moxley's case. Yeah, so that makes sense. Interesting. It'll be interesting to track this in the coming months and years as we do more of this. It's not necessarily what we're going to do every time for AEW because then we're going to just burn through all of them, right? Like the next one we're going to do is Bound for Glory because Bound for Glory is now, this year is the 21st Bound for Glory, so we're going to do it the weekend before or the week before. We'll see how it works out. But that will obviously be very different. We're going to get Alex on for that. I've already booked him. And naturally that, that promotion takes 1,000,001 shapes across Bound for Glory. And Bound for Glory is a really weird show historically because it's their WrestleMania, but often they forget it's their WrestleMania and it sort of
Story
comes and
TNA.
goes, without incident. So let's wrap it up and do some plugs. This was awesome. I really enjoyed this. Appreciate everyone that joined us. And we will be live tomorrow at 2 Eastern on LNG Gold for all members. $1.99 gets you in. Moving forward, those shows, when and if they happen, even when they happen, will be free. So much happening in the land of grins. Novi, any plugs, brother?
Please join us for All Out tomorrow. I'll be here at 2. I'm ready to have a fucking good time, man. I love AEW papes, bro. They're just
You like to have a good
day.
time?
I like to have a good time, man. It is what it is. Shout out Brad. Oh wait, hold on 1 second. I have another plug. My letterbox. You can go ahead and follow that at Noviak if you don't mind.
Good stuff, bro. Buster,
Nashville, really.
tell the people about Tuesday's show, brother.
I was going to. We'll be live on Tuesday for KH Chronicles Los Gringos Locos. Me, Khalid, Novi,
Yeah, I'll do it.
and Novi will be there. And then on the, give me a second.
No.
29th,
Yeah.
we'll be doing Pure Time Capsule Ricochet, where we talk, go through some of Ricochet's matches in Japan.
Beautiful.
Less
I love it.
research intensive episode, more so a grin along, if anything, to be honest. I'll be putting a link in the LNG Gold Discord with those matches on it. We can just hit play and watch Ricochet be a beast.
Same thing.
Beautiful.
Gold Discord. I'll probably be watching DPW this weekend on
Yes.
Sunday night.
I love it. And if you've loved this, smash the like button. Caden Lee, do you have any plugs?
Also, wait, really quickly, sorry. Joe, I don't know if you're going to be on that show, the Ricochet show, but if you want to be, it's very early for you. So, well,
Oh,
not
really?
very early, but it's earlier for you. It's
Okay,
like
I'll probably do this early.
6 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah, I'll probably do that. That's Monday, right?
Yes.
6 Eastern on a Monday sounds like
Yeah.
heat, but Caden Lee, do you have any plugs?
Please like the video so
Excellent.
I can afford a new microphone because he broke my other one.
Yeah, it was inevitable. Really. Look
Oh,
at
look at the guy.
He's inviting him.
always buying them.
There it is.
I thought I was gonna be cute for a second. Moxley.
That was
sure
very
it's not.
Moxley.
Yeah, very Moxley. Add some Excalibur audio over that, and you have yourself a very nice post on the Twitter gimmick. Marcus, do you have any plugs?
I have several. And this one concerns you, Joe. One, I will be here tomorrow for the
Yes,
All Out Grin Long. I'll probably be here with Novi for the, Little
Yes,
pre-show
sir.
thingy. I'll be there for that. And follow the Self-Made Boys at SelfMadePW on Twitter. Only $5 to get in on the Discord. We have all watch-alongs, and if you were so generous, you can recommend matches. And if you were crazy enough to send $100 to be a Paragon guy, you can have a full show or a full pack of matches if you want. And
Yes, sir.
the Hobart Hour, the debut
go,
the other
brother.
day, and we laughed, we cried, we screamed, "This is terrorism," and we popped
Yep.
for Terry Funk. And also subscribe
did.
to the Self-Made YouTube channel. Crystal came back from the dead on the first episode of Loaf and Lecture with him and Rob. Ayo got challenged to a draft special by Ibu because he got his ass kicked on the debate. So we're gonna have that. And a whole bunch of stuff coming in the pipeline.
Yes, and the Holbert Hour. Business is picking up, folks. The Good Brothers versus the Motor City Machine Guns next week, live, Wednesday, 5 Eastern. Be there. Beautiful. Support the guys at Self-Made, the Oracle of Wrestling. Do you have any final words, any plugs?
I will be here tomorrow afternoon until about 7 p.m. Eastern time, when I will depart and watch a massacre, which I will probably not enjoy. And I'm not talking about the other company. I'm talking about the South Carolina Gamecocks going on the road.
Hey,
at
could be
Missouri.
worse. Could be a Florida fan.
That was an important distinction you made there, Oracle. Very important.
Yes, I just realized that, and I was like, "Well, let me be clear." So yes, I'll be here till probably about the main event, and then I'll have to dip out. But Grin Grappler to Jury will be on September 30th, Tuesday, 9 p.m.
I'm so excited, dude.
Beast.
Tune in for that.
What a cool lineup that is, right?
Mhm.
That's like, actually feels, it's hard sometimes. We don't always get it right. That actually feels like a definitive jury lineup to me in a lot of ways. Obviously, you're going to miss stuff. It's 6 matches. But, like, we got Super Crazy in there. We got Carino, Ray. Like, I'm very happy with that. Excited for that show. Also, I should note, in terms of markers, I believe that the LNG Productions Grim Infinite Possibilities #2 is, I believe that's Marcus's Productions debut, I
It
think,
is.
coming soon. Yeah.
It is.
So, we talked for about an hour about Kevin Owens in AEW, if he'd have jumped at the start of 2022. We had a really good time with that. It's much less big picture than the Hogan one, because obviously there's a lot less time.
Yeah.
But we do a lot of fantasy booking.
Bro,
right? It
we
was
spent
really,
like
really fun.
15 minutes going, man, that Darby match would have been great, huh?
Yeah, it was really, really fun. And I know Rice has got some awesome graphics ready to go with the other guys. So, yeah, I'm excited for you guys to see that. There is lots happening, and we will probably be covering the coming weekend with a Weekend's Best soon, and then later. Probably, hopefully Tuesday, we can get that out from production. So, stay tuned, folks. More than anything, have a great night. Enjoy the pay-per-view. Have a great wrestling weekend, a great weekend in general if you're watching football. I know Bob will be football on mode. And please like the video if you haven't already. If you've enjoyed this concept, tell us what shows you think would make for good episodes. And it doesn't have to be any particular promote. We can do any promotion for this, which is what I like about it, right? So, awesome times. Appreciate the support. Keep grinning. All hail. Enjoy this outro. Goodbye.